lender and insured by the NCUA.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 5 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
We're hearing from one of the young people mentored by the fallen Santaquin police officer, Sergeant Bill Hoosier.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage in the line of duty. Adam?
Amanda, Sergeant Bill Hoosier was an instructor in the Nebo School District Citizen Academy internship for high school students. Now, this program lasts 2 hours a week, and one student said Hoosier set up all the assignments and also acted as a role model for all of these kids looking to go into law enforcement. Hoosier was killed early Sunday morning after police say a driver who he tried to pull over along with a UHP trooper fled, took off the wrong way, and ran into Hoosier, killing him on scene on I-15 near Santaquin. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
That student, Spencer Peterson, says Sergeant Hoosier's death hit him like a freight train.
We're all going to miss him. You know, the community for sure has taken a hit. He was just one of the best men that I've ever met.
He tells KSL TV Hoosier's influence helped him decide to pursue a career in law enforcement in the future.
The manhunt for the driver who hit and killed Police Sergeant Hoosier left some small communities in shock. Mona resident Wyatt Neaton tells KSL TV police were at every intersection.
This is unheard of down here. Never seen anything like that here in Mona.
Officers were practically going door to door during the search.
All of the police departments in Utah County are now helping the Santaquin Police Department fill in shifts while their officers grieve. The Utah County Sheriff's Office is helping organize the effort, and they say they've got just about every shift covered through tomorrow.
At this point, we are still waiting to find out when funeral services will be held for Sergeant Bill Hoosier. We will be sure to let you know as soon as we get them, and we will post all that information on KSLNewsRadio.com.
In other news this morning, a new witness in the Chad Daybell trial talks about how Daybell would label Lori Vallow's kids. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe reports.
Melanie Pulowski is Lori Vallow's niece. She testified that Chad Daybell would use a pendant to get answers from God and would give blessings to her over the phone. Pulowski says she moved to Rexburg in September 2019 but never saw Lori's two kids, JJ and Tylee. She would, though, get different answers on their whereabouts. She testified that she thought it was Chad who labeled both JJ and Tylee as dark before their deaths. She also thought it was Chad who considered people zombies if darkness overtook them. Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
The city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, is out with a decision about what the University of Utah women's basketball coach called racial hate crimes. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live with the report. Peter?
Amanda, the city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho won't be filing charges against an 18-year-old that they say yelled slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team. That's according to the Salt Lake Tribune. Deputy City Attorney Ryan Hunter also reportedly says the man who shouted the N-word and a misogynistic word at Utah players won't be facing charges because there's not enough evidence to constitute charges like disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, and malicious harassment. In fact, the Deputy City Attorney says the evidence is pointing to this man trying to be funny. Hunter says the incident was abhorrently racist, but that there's not enough evidence to count as unprotected speech under current law. Utes coach Lynn Roberts said originally that these were racial hate crimes. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. We're monitoring reports this morning. The Israeli military is moving forward with its long-planned offensive in Rafah. ABC's M. Wynn is tracking her story.
A Palestinian security official and an Egyptian official told the Associated Press that Israel tanks have entered the city of Rafah, which has been a refuge for more than 1 million displaced Palestinians, a city Israel describes as Hamas's final stronghold.
Last evening, Hamas says they agreed to a ceasefire agreement proposed by Egypt and Qatar, but Israel says that deal does not meet their requirements.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Boy, it's a driving rain out there, affecting drivers, especially coming up on the west side. I-215 21st South Freeway. Be prepared for some seriously wet roads. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
The U.S. News and World Report has ranked Utah as the best state in America. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with how we got there. Michael?
Tim, we took the top of the podium alongside New Hampshire and Nebraska for the best overall ranking. But if you want to get into the specifics, Utah performed the best in economy, infrastructure, and even education. Turns out, Utahns don't seem to mind being generous in funding public higher ed, and college students typically have low debt when they graduate thanks to a working through college lifestyle. Still, these rankings represent methodology and are prone to change. And as far as improvements go, Utah's ranking in environment and gender equality didn't do as well. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Rookie minicamps are starting in the NFL, meaning players with local ties that signed with teams are getting a chance to show what they've got. One of them is former BYU lineman Kinsley Suamataia, who is now with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's excited to help protect QB Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick was probably the second guy that hit me up, getting ready. He said he's fired up, so just trying to get in the playbook as fast as I can. Best help our line and the team. So Patrick has been a great mentor as well. Just waking up to a message from him, it just blows my mind.
He also says it's fun playing for former BYU player Coach Andy Reid.
I can only imagine what that would be like after just, idolizing some of these guys, and now you're protecting him there in the backfield. The Utah Utes picked up an unusual commit for the upcoming football season. This is a strange twist. Former BYU and Baylor basketball player Caleb Lohner has traded in his high tops for cleats. Lohner has 1 year of college eligibility left, and he decided he wants to see if he can catch passes as a tight end for the Utes. He's big and tall, and he can jump. The coaches are anxious to see how his skills may translate to the football field.
Well, in high school, a lot of these guys are 2- and 3-sport athletes.
Oh, sure.
So maybe he just thought, I want to try the other one.
But with 1 year of eligibility, you come back to try
crazy.
football.
Minnesota Timberwolves center and former Jazzman Rudy Gobert missed last night's playoff game in Denver. He wasn't sick. He was home with his girlfriend for the birth of their first child, which we are told is a baby boy. The T-Wolves took care of business while Gobert was out, winning the game by over 20 points.
Miss USA, who comes from Utah, is stepping down. Noella Voy says she's giving up her crown to focus on her mental health. We get more from ABC's Lionel Moise.
Mental health came to the forefront in the pageant world with the untimely death of former Miss USA Chesley Christ in 2022. Christ was an attorney and correspondent for the TV show Extra. Her mother details some of Christ's struggles with depression in the new book, By the Time You Read This, adding to the memoir Christ was about to publish before dying by suicide at age 30.
Good time to remind everybody, if you or anyone you know is struggling, the Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day at 988.
I had light rain coming in, but Andy Farnsworth said it was heavy.
Yeah, it was just starting to pick up when I came into the parking lot.
And there's more in the forecast. We've got some wet roads out there. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Listen to KSL for news to get exactly what you want.
Stories about what's going to affect me.
Traffic. If I want to know now, I'll go to KSL Radio.
Hear the important stories, the stories that affect you.
On KSL News Radio.
The best kept secret is This Is the Pass. It's a pass for fun for everyone. Save $20 off every annual pass level. 362 days of fun. Visit thisisthepass.com.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow. Provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Well, the sight of that procession headed down to Utah County yesterday was really something. Not just all of the police vehicles that, jumped in line, but a lot of other vehicles as well. And now this morning we're hearing from people who Officer Hoosier affected so deeply in their lives. Including some students.
Yeah.
We'll have more on his life story coming up for you throughout the morning. It's 5:09, time for a look at the drive with traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. You found a lot of rain, huh, Andy?
Oh, my. It was coming down so hard, especially along 201 and up 215's west side belt. It actually tapered off once I got into Salt Lake City, but it was coming down pretty hard the whole way from the southwest corner of the valley. Now, the good news is so far there haven't been any crashes that have showed up on the freeways or those southwest part of the valley. But with the rain coming down this hard, it's probably only a matter of time, honestly. Len?
Yeah, we're looking at mountain snow alert, so keep yourself aware of that going in the high country as you make your way into Davis and Weber counties or coming out of there. You're looking pretty good right now. The roads are mostly dry, a little bit of wet areas, and especially, again, in the high country. But if you're coming on I-15, it's a straight shot, good timing, about a half an hour. 89 is looking pretty good. That's open this morning, as well as Legacy Parkway. Eric?
We got active precipitation through Parley's Canyon. It's very slow on I-80 from the East Canyon exit up to the top of Parley Summit. You also have slowdowns elsewhere in the canyon, as well as on US 40 northbound from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the Park City turnoff. Down Utah County, no problems emerging so far on the freeway. Celebrate spring in a clean home. Call Zero Res and get one room clean starting at just $25 with a 4-room minimum. Visit ZeroRes.com and book your appointment today. Zero Res. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A band of rain-snow showers this morning will give way to scattered rain-snow showers, high of 50 and a little breezy. Overnight, chilly 35 with a slight chance for a shower. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Raining in spots out there, 43 degrees.
So how do TikTok users feel about this potential ban of TikTok if the majority shareholder doesn't sell to someone outside of China?
Well, I'll tell you, it's different from those that just casually use it.
Yes, big
and
time.
those that are making money
of
from
course.
it are having a fit.
Yeah. We're going to learn more from Stephen Portnoy. This new poll out. That's just ahead on KSL.
And you need to stay with us, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Looking for a secure retirement plan without market risk? Look no further. Lyle Boss, president of Boss Financial, specializes in no market risk retirement strategies with guarantees of principal, guaranteed growth, and lifelong income. Join Lyle right here each Saturday and Sunday for his Safe Money radio show and call him now at 855-355-SAFE for your complimentary customized Safe Money information kit and Safe Money book. Nothing but upside here at 855-355-SAFE.
It's time for the KSL Give-a-thon.
We need your help raising money for sick Utah kids receiving treatment at Primary Children's Hospital.
Go to KSLkids.com and donate today.
Be a smile maker. An automatic gift each month helps save the lives of children all year long.
Sponsored by J&J Garden Center in Layton.
A big thanks to other generous sponsors, including the Utah Hyundai dealers, for their amazing support of the kids at Primary Children's.
The KSL Give-a-thon. We can't do it without you. Please give today at KSLkids.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized with help from Beacon. I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
KSL News Time, 5:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
the city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho won't be filing charges against an 18-year-old man they say yelled slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, all of the police departments in Utah County are now helping the Santaquin Police Department fill in shifts while their officers grieve the death of Sergeant Bill Hoosier.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Well, no crashes right now affecting anybody on the driveways, but we've got restrictions for semis. Got to chain up to go in Parleys, and a variable speed limit as low as 45 miles an hour at points between Salt Lake and Park City. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Our last day of wet weather, then a warm-up. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, rain and 43 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
More protests overnight, including in New York at the Met Gala. Let's get the latest from ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Another pro-Palestinian demonstration on a college campus with an encampment broken up by police, this one at the University of Chicago. Last night, New York City police made arrests near the Met Gala, while in the Middle East, Israel has seized the Gaza side of the Rafah border crossing. That's the main route for aid entering the city, where more than 1 million people have fled after fleeing other parts of Gaza. Israel's called on civilians to evacuate. The U.S. has been calling on Israel not to attack Rafah. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said President Biden spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu Monday.
We've made clear our views about operations in Rafah that could potentially put more than 1 million innocent people at greater risk. During his call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, the president again made this clear.
Hamas Monday said it accepted a ceasefire proposal, but Israel said it was not the same deal that had been under discussion. Back in the U.S., search and rescue operations continue around collapsed homes in northwest Oklahoma. Severe weather led to 16 reported tornadoes across 6 states.
Federal weather forecasters on Monday issued a rare high-risk warning for much of the state of Oklahoma. After sunset, the 911 calls started flowing in.
It's going to be for a tornado hit there. The house has fallen. There's a person trapped under the house.
The audio from Broadcastify. The sheriff in Osage County says one person was killed in the town of Barnsdall. At least 15 people were treated at a hospital in nearby Bartlesville. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Boeing called off the first crewed launch of its Starliner spacecraft. The crew was in the capsule, but NASA's Steve Stitch said pre-launch checks found an issue with an oxygen valve.
It was moving in a strange behavior. The flight rules had been laid out for this flight ahead of time. With the crew at the launch pad, the proper action was to scrub.
And testimony continues today in former President Trump's criminal trial. You're listening to ABC News.
A new poll is showing how Americans feel about TikTok and a potential ban.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy joins us live. What does the poll show, Stephen?
Well, good morning. With federal law now requiring that China-based ByteDance sell TikTok within the next year, this new ABC News Ipsos poll finds that most Americans would support banning the app if it isn't sold, as the law now requires. A ban is favored in that case 53% to 44%. Now, 44% is a significant show of opposition to this. And users of TikTok as a group overwhelmingly oppose the ban or even sale of TikTok. Those who rarely or never use the app, and that's 2/3 of Americans, generally favor a ban if TikTok remains in the hands of its Chinese owners. There's a split here along ideological lines. If you are a conservative, you are more likely to want the app to be sold or banned. Trump supporters are far more likely to support a ban if TikTok is not sold, while Biden voters are roughly split on the question.
I'll tell you where the other split is, Stephen, and that is with people that are actually making money on TikTok. They're beside themselves.
Well, you're right about that, because one of the arguments against a ban of the app, not necessarily divestiture, is the idea that it would cut off the income stream that people who sell products and services on TikTok have used to draw attention to themselves. Now, look, TikTok is overwhelmingly popular among young people. 55% of those under the age of 30, adults under 30, in our survey say they use TikTok. 28% of them use it often. But as you get older, that is, as our survey takes the question of people who get older, TikTok usage drops off. So it goes without saying that if you are a user of TikTok, you value the app, you don't want to see it shut down. But in the main, most Americans believe that if the law signed by the president last month is not followed, if ByteDance does not sell TikTok under the year that it's been given, they would support a ban. One key question that we're watching, will ByteDance file suit to try to block this law from taking hold? We haven't seen it yet.
Just quickly, Stephen, doesn't China have rules like this, that if American companies do business over there, they have to divest or share ownership in some way?
China has a variety of different rules making it difficult for American companies to do business there, including forced technology transfers. And that is the idea that if you're a large technology company here in the United States and you want access to the Chinese market, you've got to allow Beijing to have eyes on all of your secrets. And that is a problem for American companies and the American government.
All right, Stephen, thanks for reporting on this. It's always been a one-way street with all of the business that takes place over in China.
Maybe it's about time it's a two-way street.
Yeah. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy joining us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
Let's get another look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Well, Amanda, so far, no crashes. That's good news, despite the very wet road conditions you're dealing with so far. But traffic is running a little bit slower on your the farther you have to go, the longer it's going to take you. Right now, it's about 22 minutes from Point of the Mountain to downtown Salt Lake City, and 10 to 12 to get from Lake Point over to the airport. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. Same on Mountain View and Bangor, especially as you come up through West Valley. Len?
Well, making your way in Weber and Davis counties a whole different story than yesterday. It's just dry roads for the most part as you search through the cameras. I'm not seeing any. There's a few slightly wet roads. Otherwise, you're looking pretty good on Highway 89. That's different. It is open this morning, US 89 all the way from Farmington up to South Weber. I-84 is looking a little bit wet, if anything, as you make your way over toward Mountain Green there in Weber Canyon. Otherwise, I-15 is moving along very nicely. Legacy and the top end of the north end of I-215 making your way down toward I-80. Eric?
Snow's really coming down in Parley's Canyon. In fact, for quite a while now, maybe about a minute. I haven't seen, there goes one car as we see hardly any traffic going through the top of Parley Summit. You've got speed restrictions through the canyon, 45 miles per hour, and you've got other kinds of restrictions for semis. You are required to chain up if you're heading out to Park City and beyond. Down to Utah County, no problem so far on the freeway. Discover the power of hands-on learning at Tooele Technical College with affordable, flexible, and achievable technical education. Your future begins here. Apply today at TooeleTech.edu. That's TooeleTech.edu. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We've got a high of only 50 degrees today. Rain, snow showers possible, but widely scattered. 51, mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Thursday, 64. Breezy out of the east, partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny, 69 by Friday. Weekends shaping up to be quite nice. 73 on Saturday and Sunday. 77. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Even with those warmer temps, there's still a 10% chance of showers all the way through that 7-day. 43 right now, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Holy cow, I just saw the camera in Parley's Canyon.
Yeah.
What in the world? That looks like January.
That is nasty, and remember yesterday we had like 6 slide-offs, but that looks even worse right now than it did yesterday.
I mean, that looks snow-packed, and there aren't that many tracks going through. Holy cow.
Alta got 24 inches, 2 feet of new snow yesterday, and there's more coming right now.
That's just crazy. Well, we'll continue to update the forecast for you throughout the day here on KSL News Radio.
And we'll check money news coming up next.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Airbus is taking advantage of all the airplane problems. The company delivered 61 aircraft in April. That's up 13% from April of last year. So far this year, they delivered 203 planes.
A new type of airline is launching, and it's catered to pets, particularly dogs. It's called Bark Airlines. Offers white paw experience, including calming treats, noise-canceling earmuffs and jackets for a stress-free flight. Flights start at $6,000 a ticket, and that includes the owner.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine a plane full of owners with dogs? A plane full of dogs.
I saw a picture a couple of days ago, and I'm sure this was, as it's happening right now, a therapy dog of some kind.
Yeah.
Sitting on the lap of the owner. And this was not a small pooch. This was a big dog.
Wow.
And the person sitting next to them in the center seat had their elbows, right in the middle of their lap.
My son works in the mall, and he said people come in with their dogs all the time now.
Sure.
It's just really common.
Yeah.
Well, Disney says their streaming service, Disney Plus, was profitable for the first time. The company's direct-to-consumer segment, which includes Disney Plus and Hulu, made $47 million compared to their $587 million loss last year.
Man, we had a good day yesterday on the markets. The Dow was up 0.5%, the S&P up 1 full percentage point, the NASDAQ was up 1.2%. How are we doing this morning? It's a mixed bag. The Dow is still up about 29. The S&P really is just flat. It's up 1 right now. The NASDAQ down about 28 points.
It is snow-packed on I-80 going over Parley Summit. If you're going up or down that road, just be a little careful. Take it slow. We'll check traffic and weather coming up next.
There's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year approaching, barbecues, and warm weather months ahead. Celebrate in a clean home by calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Take advantage of Zero Res's flash sale today. $25 per room with a 4-room minimum. You know Zero Res as the zero residue carpet cleaners that don't leave behind any dirt-attracting soaps and chemicals that other carpet cleaners use. Don't risk it with the other guys or go DIY with your carpet cleaning. It will end up soaked for days and actually do more damage than good. Keep the mud outside and not under your carpets. Just check out the 3,300 raving customer reviews online with a 4.8 Google rating. Schedule today and get one room Zero Resified, starting at just $25 with a 4-room minimum. Make sure to mention KSL. Book with ease at ZeroRes.com or call 801-288-9376. Zero Res. Spell it backward or forward. It's the right way to clean. Zero Res.
When a Utah police officer leaves home each morning, there are no guarantees what they'll see and the dangers to their lives and livelihoods. This week, an officer left home like any other day and didn't return. KSL will offer complete coverage as Officer Bill Hoosier's life is memorialized in the line of duty this week on KSL News Radio.
Mother's Day made with love by Olson's Greenhouse. Get design and planting tips and gift ideas for mom. Join KSL Live with Olson's and the Greenhouse Show this Saturday, May 10th at Saratoga Springs Home Depot.
5:29. Let's get a look at the drive with traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy, that UDOT camera at Parley Summit is really something. And if you look off to the left-hand side, a lot of truckers deciding to sit it out for right now.
Yeah, they are requiring chains for semis in both directions, but I don't blame them if they just want to wait to see if the plows can come through and give them some pavement to drive on even with those chains. But, up over the top of the summit, that's where it's going to be at its worst for vehicles, regular vehicles or semis. They've got a variable speed limit. It's 45 miles an hour up near the summit, but I'm looking at that road. I'm not even sure I want to go 45 miles an hour. As you come down, though, it does improve, and it just turns to wet conditions by the time you reach the mouth of the canyon. Len?
Well, we do have this road weather alert going with Spring Mountain snow put out by UDOT here. And a lot of the canyon routes up in Weber and Davis County, you're going to see a little bit of snow coming up here. They're alerting you to I-84, Weber Canyon, to Echo Junction, and US 89 Logan Summit. And right now, Logan Summit, though, is looking okay, as well as Sardine Canyon. And going up Weber Canyon right now is okay. The roadways right now sailing along Weber and Davis counties. Eric?
I-15 through Utah and Salt Lake counties are in decent shape, although we do have wet spots, particularly over in the West Valley downtown area. So be careful going through there and keep an eye out for those lines. Hard to see. We're on the 215 belt. That's looking good on all sides. And coming out of Tooele County, no real problems on SR 36. Don't let tax problems ruin your life. Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox handle the IRS so you don't have to. Visit TaxHelpUT.com. That's TaxHelpUT.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Let's get a look now at this forecast. We have a 70% chance of more rain and snow today. It starts to move out tomorrow, but still a chance of rain tomorrow. Then it starts to warm up a little bit. Right now, rain and 43 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 5:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
This storm hitting the state has already left behind an impressive amount of water, and we could pick up a good amount more today.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, in terms of mountain snow, it's been unbelievable to see these totals in May. Alta already has picked up more than 2 feet of snow, and it is still snowing up there today. Snowbird has 21 inches, Solitude has 16, even Mueller Park east of Bountiful has a foot of new snow. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says we could add maybe another 5 to 10 inches of snow in the mountains, and a lot of the rain we're going to see down here again today is going to come this morning.
By afternoon, we'll likely see some pop-up rain snow showers. Courtesy of daytime heating, it'll energize the atmosphere, create a little bit of lift.
So we got a little more rain and cold weather to go here between today and tomorrow, but by Thursday, things are expected to mostly have cleared out. And maybe by this weekend, we'll have spring again. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
UDOT was hoping to start clearing Guardsman Pass this morning, but we'll see if that happens with all the snow falling in the mountains right now. UDOT says it takes over 200 workers to clear that deep, dense snow from the pass. There's no set date yet for the road to open.
Governor Spencer Cox is fighting against a Pentagon proposal to move Air National Guard units into the Space Force. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has the details. Peter?
Amanda, Governor Spencer Cox has his signature on a letter against this proposal, along with the signatures of 53 other governors of Utah, U.S. states and territories. What it does is ask lawmakers to allow the Department of Defense to bypass governor's approval and move Air National Guard units into the Space Force. KSL.com reports this would affect 1,000 space-focused troops in Alaska, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, New York, and Ohio. Cox calls this deeply disappointing and says it could weaken the authority of governors as the sole commanders-in-chief over their National Guard units. Cox says an Air Force spokesman wrote in a letter, though, that the effect on states would be, quote, negligible. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Another group of universities announced they are canceling or modifying their graduation plans due to war protests.
At Columbia University, even though the lawn is cleared, the university-wide graduation is canceled. The university is saying they will focus on smaller ceremonies by school. Police do have authorization to be on campus through those graduation festivities.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos says protesters at MIT have returned to an encampment that was previously cleared out by police.
An American soldier is being detained in Russia.
He was stationed in South Korea, and he was in the process of returning to Fort Cavazos in Texas when he took some of his leave time where he's supposed to be focused on relocating, and instead he went to Russia. Now, I want to say he did not have permission to travel to Russia. The State Department says it's dangerous. They even go so far as to say all Americans in Russia should leave, that they're not safe there. He went anyway, where he was arrested on charges of stealing.
ABC's Ann Flaherty says the soldier's relatives say Army Staff Sergeant Gordon Black may have been visiting a woman he was dating.
Senator Bernie Sanders is 82 years old, but that isn't stopping him from running for another 6-year term. Sanders says he's running in part because he doesn't like the direction President Biden is leading the Democratic Party.
The percentage of Utah's young voters who made their voices heard in 2022 is much lower than in many other states. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson explains.
The U.S. Census Bureau is releasing stats that show 18 to 29-year-olds make up more than a quarter of Utah's voters, but only about 12% voted in the midterm election.
Nationally, more and more young people are voting. They're voting at higher rates at this young age than previous generations. But in Utah, we see this huge gap between those who are of age and those who are voting.
Morgan Lyon-Cotty, Associate Director for the University of Utah's Hinckley Institute of Politics, says it's likely because Utah has more young people serving their missions. She also says it's unclear what this means for the upcoming election and whether young voters will be motivated or turned off by the current state of affairs. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
Time for First Look Traffic. And Andy, we just answered the question of one of our texters. Yes, the plows still are working, and we just saw them go through Parley Summit.
Yes, and they've made it through one direction of Parley Summit right now. Looks like that's the westbound direction, but eastbound still needs some help. And right now, if you're traveling through the canyon, that's going to be the most treacherous stretch. Big and Little are both open right now, although I can't imagine if they're getting as much snow as Parley's is that they're going to not have restrictions anytime soon. Down in the valleys, though, wet roads, the conditions that you're dealing with so far. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day, a day set aside to help make people aware of the dangers of this synthetic opioid.
A release from the United States Attorney for the District of Utah says every day more than 150 people in the U.S. die from synthetic opioid overdoses. Emergency room physician Dr. Jennifer Plum explains what to look for in an opioid overdose.
The way you tell that is, first of all, they're out cold, they're not responding to you, and then when you pop their eyes open and you look at their pupil, it's a tiny, tiny little fleck of pepper with a little black dot in their eye.
Dr. Plum is the co-founder of Utah Naloxone. She says many of those overdose deaths could be prevented if the patient is quickly given naloxone. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
The FAA has launched a new investigation into Boeing, looking to see if maintenance crews were completing required inspections. The investigation is centered around the 787 Dreamliner and parts that attach the wings to the fuselage.
The launch of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft last night was called off because of some possible problems with a valve. Engineers are this morning taking a look at the valve to decide if they can restart the countdown to launch.
Yeah, they're hoping they can still maybe get it off the ground in a couple of weeks. Local animal shelters are working to meet the goal of making Utah a no-kill shelter state this year.
The Uinta County Animal Shelter was challenged by Best Friends Animal Sanctuary to increase their adoption rate. The challenge ended this weekend, but it was so successful that it has been extended for at least another week. The shelter's Riley Olson says Best Friends is a great partner.
They are covering the whole adoption fee, so technically the animals are free.
Olson says there are many dogs available, especially puppies, which is odd because they usually have adult dogs. 23 animals found new homes in April, which was a much higher number of adoptions than usual. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
I'm watching people drive east in Parley's Canyon on I-80 just thinking, hold on to the wheel.
Yeah, they're all using their flashers. That's how bad it is up there.
Oh, man. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
In the line of duty, Santaquin residents are doing everything they can to honor the fallen officer.
We take comfort in the outpouring of support.
His family knows, we are all behind them.
All this week on KSL News Radio.
When you think of Utah's homeless, who do you see? They are people with names and faces, and many are in dire circumstances. They are men and women, and sometimes children. Many are living on the street, in a car, or in a shelter. Some choose to be homeless. Most do not. Many experience the challenges of addiction or mental illness. All are vulnerable. Homelessness is a crisis, one that affects us all. Utah is building a coalition of community leaders and concerned citizens united to end the plight of homelessness. Homelessness should not mean hopelessness. Learn more at projecthumandignity.org. A message from Utah Impact Partnership.
Monster winds can cause huge damage to your roof that you can't see. Don't wait for a disaster. Go to the masters at masterroofingutah.com to schedule your free windstorm assessment today.
Everyone's house is different, but they're all the same in one way. We've all got those places where the Wi-Fi just won't go. For you, maybe it's the attic. For me, it's my basement. Well, if you had wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you could worry less about these dead spots. Finally. With wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you get fast speeds throughout your home, reliable connection in every room, and power for all of your devices, even when everyone is online. That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now through June 21st, new customers can get started with gig speed internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com. Call 1-800-XFINITY. That's 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today.
Matt Johnson reposted somebody's pictures and videos
Oh, my gosh.
of North Canyon Bountiful where they got 16 to 18 inches. And the problem is all of the trees have leafed out.
Yes, I was worried about that. I thought, am I going to lose some branches?
Yeah.
Because the snow looks heavy on those leaves.
They reported tree damage moderate to severe up there. We've got more snow falling this morning.
Wow, 5:39, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, through Parley's Canyon, it is just a nightmare of a snowy commute, similar to what you'd see in the heart of winter up over Parley's Summit right now, both directions. They're requiring chains for semis, and with the snow coming down the way it is, I wonder if they're going to change that to all vehicles at some point, but it gets worse on the Park City side. In fact, I see snowy covered roads all the way past the Highway 40 junction, and it looks like it improves not till you get to about Colville. You have to go that far before you see road conditions looking a little bit better. Len?
Right now in Weber and Davis counties, it's looking pretty dry. You have no problems on the Legacy Parkway right now. I-15 is about a half-hour drive as you make your way from Roy on down to the Salt Lake City area. And, I-84 going up Weber Canyon. You got to watch out a little bit. They're telling us we might get some road snow as you head over toward Echo, where the roads are quite snowy. Eric?
In Utah County, I-15 is looking okay from Provo to Lehigh. If you continue on through Midvale, Sandy, Midvale, Murray, all the way to downtown, everything is moving along at a normal pace. Watch out for some wet spots, though, in the major feeders getting over to the freeways, not seeing any issues so far. Find out more about how your kitchen or bath can be the kitchen or bath of your dreams in just 3 days. Just visit 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com. Eric Butler, KSL Traffic Center.
More than 15 below the normal today with a high of only 50 degrees. By afternoon, we're talking scattered rain, snow showers, and breezy out of the northwest, about 10 to 20 miles an hour. 35 overnight with a slight chance for a shower, then mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Temperatures down a little bit now, 41 in Salt Lake City.
Apple is holding its first event of the year. It's all about the iPads. We'll learn more with Mike Dubusky just ahead on KSL.
Must be Tech Tuesday. And you stay right there streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan, taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. Inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Where does a journey to wellness begin? Do you start looking for diet ideas? Or searching for exercise plans? Actually, you don't have to look far. Just look to the first 2 letters of the word wellness. We means you don't have to figure it out yourself. It means your hopes and challenges are a perfect match for our knowledge and resources. It means anything you want to achieve, together, we can achieve better. Because wellness begins with we. Intermountain Health, the power of we.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized with help from Beacon. I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
KSL News Time, 5:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Governor Spencer Cox is leading a protest against a proposal that would let the Pentagon move National Guard units to the Space Force without governor's approval. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, young adults in Utah are voting in lower numbers than many other states.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic has held up pretty well despite the wet conditions. It's I-80 through Parley's that's going to be a big issue. Restrictions for semis now big in Little Cottonwood Canyon have changed four-wheel drive restrictions for all vehicles. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
50s with showers today, then we're warming and drying. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, rain and 41 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Time for a look at our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Biden told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu the U.S. opposes Israeli military action in the Gaza city of Rafah. But ABC's Marcus Moore in Tel Aviv says some fighting has begun.
Israel launched a ground operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The IDF saying it killed 20 members of Hamas and found 3 operational tunnel shafts. And they have taken control of the critical Rafah crossing.
At the same time, there are still ongoing talks for a ceasefire in Cairo. Today, President Biden will speak at the Holocaust Memorial Museum, the White House announcing steps it's going to take to combat anti-Semitism in the U.S. There's a tornado warning in effect for parts of Illinois and Missouri, including St. Louis. There were 16 reported tornadoes across 6 states Monday. Severe weather blamed for 1 death in Oklahoma. And former President Donald Trump's criminal hush money trials continues today in New York. This is ABC News.
Apple is holding their first event of the year, and it's all about the iPads.
We're hoping to connect with Mike Dubusky because I want to ask him about that. Today's event is called Let Loose, which I guess could bring some important changes to the iPad Pro and the iPad Air. Do you use an iPad, Tim?
Oh, yeah, all
I
the time.
do, too.
Yeah. And I think we've got Mike actually now. Tell us why they're making this shift to iPads, or is the market just dictating that right now?
A little bit of both. So Apple had largely taken the iPad out of commission there for a little bit more than a year. The iPad has not seen a major update since 2022, and sales have seen an impact to that, right? According to their latest Q2 earnings, iPad sales were down more than 16% year on year. That's pretty significant for what is a pretty public-facing and pretty well-known product for Apple. They are updating it today. We are expecting them to make pretty big updates to the iPad Pro, which is their sort of top-end iPad model, as well as the iPad Air, which comes in 1 notch below the Pro. New screens, the first time we're going to see an OLED screen on the iPad Pro models. They're going to be a little bit thinner, and there is the potential for them to launch the M4 chip in the new iPad Pros. That's their internally developed silicon. It's the same chip that they use in their laptops. This is pretty significant that they could potentially be launching a new generation of computer processor in a tablet computer, perhaps suggesting that Apple really does want to shift focus and say, hey, we didn't forget about the iPad. We still care about this thing.
So these changes you've described, would they motivate an average user like me to get a new iPad?
So potentially, you're getting at a pretty key question around iPad ownership, right? Which is that people hold on to these things for a long time. They are not updated with the same cadence that an iPhone or a pair of earbuds are, because they live pretty easy lives, generally, iPads. They are things that generally exist in the home, and they, are mainly used for watching media, things like Netflix. Maybe you're doing a little bit of art, browsing the web, that sort of thing. But you're not really putting these computers to the test, and that means that they, last for a long time, and there's not a ton of updates to suggest that people would maybe come back into the fold and update their iPads. My parents still have an iPad 2 that they really like and use to this day. These are pretty substantive updates. I will say the OLED screens with their brighter, the ability to get brighter and the ability to have higher contrast ratios, that's going to be really good for the things that iPads are used for, which again, streaming Netflix, watching YouTube, that sort of thing. That could potentially be a means by which to get people back into the fold, but something to keep in mind as we talk about with all Apple devices. We do expect these things to be a little bit more expensive, by some estimates, about $100 more expensive depending on what model you get.
All right, Mike, we'll keep an eye on that today and see if it is a game changer on the market. That is ABC News technology reporter Mike Dubusky joining us.
Okay, so I don't think mine's as old as his parents, but it's pretty close.
I'm on my third iPad, actually.
I just love that thing.
But it's handy, especially when you travel a lot.
Yeah.
You don't have to haul a big, laptop around with you.
And it's so much better to read.
And on the plane, it's easy.
I like reading on the iPad more than my phone.
Yeah. We'll look forward to learning more about that on the other side of this event from Apple. Right now, let's see what the roads look like. Traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Boy, that is just unrelenting at the summit, Andy. But you said the snowpack road doesn't last all that long.
The worst of it is definitely at that highest elevation. It is snowy from maybe East Canyon up over and towards Jeremy Ranch and Park City. But as you get closer to the mouth of the canyon, it changes to wet road conditions. But it's coming down hard, and you're going to deal with that extra travel time through the canyon. You can only top out at 45 miles an hour in some spots, and a lot of semis are just choosing to park it up at the top and not risk going down until the plows have done a little bit better work or maybe the storm's tapered off. Len?
Taking a look at Weber and Davis County right now, the roads are wetter the further south you go. We're looking at the camera in Centerville. It looks pretty slick in there, so take your time in there. A little further north, though, it is dry. SR 193 looking good over to the base right now. Nobody's stacked up to wait to go into the south entrance to Hill Air Force Base. US 89, different story from yesterday. That was closed northbound there at the base, and it is not now. And no traffic delays in there. It's looking pretty good as you make your way. Even Sardine Canyon has not seen too much snow just yet. Eric?
Approved traction devices required for all vehicles in Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons this morning. If you're on I-15, that looks pretty good from Provo northbound all the way to downtown Salt Lake City. Starting to get a little bit busy on Bangerter Highway and 5600 West northbound approaching the 201 Highway. Celebrate spring in a clean home. Call Zero Res and get one room clean starting at just $25 with a 4-room minimum. Visit ZeroRes.com and book your appointment today. Zero Res. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with cold and wet conditions. We'll go scattered rain, snow showers this afternoon and breezy out of the northwest, high of only 50. We bump it to 51 tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Then we're partly cloudy, dry, 64 on Thursday, but breezy winds out of the east. 69, mostly sunny skies on Friday. Saturday, 73. Sunday, 77, mostly sunny skies. We're flirting with 80 by Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
A 40-degree jump from where we are now.
I'm looking at this UDOT camera at the summit of Parley's, and he's talking about 80 degrees.
I know. It's insane.
Wow.
Right now, downtown, it's raining at 41 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We got a text from somebody saying power's out in Colville this morning. We'll see if we can check on that for you. KSL News Time 5:52.
That's right, it's me again, and I'm at J&J Garden Center in Layton, the best place to shop for Mother's Day, where they have something special for every mom, and of course at a special price. Right now, all hanging baskets are 20% off, all flats of flowering bedding plants are just $22.98, and all 4.5-inch geraniums are 20% off too. That's incredible. J&J Garden Center definitely has the best products at the best price, so give Mom something special this Mother's Day with a special purchase from J&J Garden Center in Layton. Take the Layton Parkway exit, Main Street to Gentile, then west 2 miles. You've got to see it to believe it. You really do.
Country grown to your home. J&J Garden Center.
Get Mr. Mac's Performance Missionary Package. Includes 1 performance suit, 4 and collar stretch shirts, 3 ties, 1 mission belt, 1 pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy shoes. Just $595.
Warmer weather is here, and Skinny Utah would like to help you shape up for summer by losing 20 pounds or more in the next 40 days. That's right, at least 20 pounds, and as little as 40 days. That's the Skinny Utah 20-Pound Promise, where they customize every plan because no 2 bodies are alike. Their proven programs are 100% natural. There are never any prepackaged meals or shakes to buy, and never any dangerous shots, drugs, or hormones. At Skinny Utah, they teach you how to eat real food you buy at the store. Take the first step to a healthier new you. And schedule your free weight loss strategy session at skinnyutah.com. A $300 value. Absolutely free. Skinny Utah has offices in Centerville, Draper, and Orem. And they're extending their couples special, where the second person is half price. Schedule your free weight loss strategy session today at skinnyutah.com. That's skinnyutah.com. At Skinny Utah, you have nothing to lose but the weight.
Visit the contest page on KSLNewsRadio.com. This week, win tickets to Lagoon. Enjoy Mother's Day at Lagoon with special pricing when you buy 2 or more passes on Sunday, May 12th. Just mention Mother's Day at the ticket window. Or win tickets to the Rocky Mountain Gun Show, May 18th and 19th at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. Plus, win tickets to an upcoming RSL home match. Text the word contest to 57500 or go to KSLNewsRadio.com/contests.
Watching Utah's Money brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans are expected to send $33.5 billion, that is, spend, actually, on Mother's Day this year. Of course, we could send it to Mom, I guess. The National Retail Federation says it's the second highest amount in history. The most popular gift? Flowers.
Yeah, for sure. All right, your money at this moment, the markets are pretty flat. The Dow futures are up just 18, a fraction. S&P's off 0.7, that's a fraction. NASDAQ's off 40, that's about 0.2%.
And we've got snow. Boy, it is just nonstop up there at the summit of Parley's. People driving along slow speeds with their emergency flashers on. You should do the same or just avoid it for a while. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Jeff Kaplan here with Josh Moore from IWC Roofing. Josh, on our show yesterday, you made a very special offer for our listeners.
$2,000 off an entire roof purchase. It's by far the largest promo that we've ever ran in almost 30 years of business. And in addition to that, we can actually do financing. So not one or the other, but we can combine the two.
So you're going to keep it going an extra day, but why IWC Roofing?
The question is, why not IWC Roofing? We're the highest rated roofing contractor in the state. We've been in business for 30 years, and hands down, because of the volume that we do and this additional promo that we're running, we will get you the best value out there on a new roof purchase, guaranteed.
And they'll do your entire roof in one day. Get $2,000 off, but you have to call today. IWC Roofing, 801-232-5690, 801-232-5690. That's 801-232-5690, or go to IWCRoofingUtah.com. Thanks, Josh.
You bet. Thanks.
Here's an easy tip from Jordan Valley Water to know when it's time to water your lawn. If you can easily push a 6-inch screwdriver into your soil, you don't need to water yet. For more tips, visit waytowater.com.
Tay-Tay was a typical girl that loved pink, singing, and all kinds of animals. At 3 years old, she tumbled off a horse and received a traumatic brain injury. Her family prayed for a miracle, and when they realized their daughter would not survive, they made the decision to donate her organs. Because of her donation, 4 other people received her organs and tissue, allowing others to live. Go to donorconnect.life and read about what it takes to become a donor. Did you know many people think that they're too old and not in good enough health to be a donor? Anyone can be a donor. If you were told that it could save a life for someone close to you, or even a stranger, would you please donate? Finding out more on why you should become a donor is pretty easy. DonorConnect.life can walk you through the process and what it takes to simply sign up. Check yes to become a donor when you renew your driver's license. Give hope, heal life. DonorConnect.life.
5:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, the big delay this morning and the big concern is if you have to travel through Parley's Canyon on I-80 because at the top of the summit, the snow is just dumping. They've run the plows through once, and you're still driving on snow over the top of the summit in both directions. Some semis are just parked, not even going to attempt it, so be careful. They are requiring chains for semis. And the variable speed limit means you can only top out at 45 in some spots. Check that. It looks like now chains four-wheel drives for all vehicles in Parley's, and that's no surprise. Glenn?
Well, they have put out their Spring Mountain Road snow alert canyon routes, of course, all over the place. Seeing that, there's your evidence right there that Andy just told you. Also, if you're going up I-84 Weber Canyon to Echo Junction or US 89 Logan Summit, or as you want to go up into Cache Valley, you also have Sardine Canyon. But nothing is getting hit in those areas right now. I-15 is working well as all the other roads in Davis and Weber counties. Eric?
If you're eastbound I-80 going past Sugar House over to the mouth of Parley's Canyon, you've got some transition slowing if you're heading south on the 215 east belt. Northbound on Bangerter Highway and Mountain View Corridor, you've got some slowing at right around 3500 south coming out of Tooele County. No problems on SR 36. The Two Brothers Mattress, a huge Memorial Day sale, is going on now on all Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Save up to $500 on Serta mattresses. Visit one of their 5 stores or twobrothersmattress.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Expecting a high today of 50. We really don't have far to get there with this precipitation this morning. 43 downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 6 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
We're hearing more firsthand accounts this morning about the many lives impacted by fallen Santaquin police officer Sergeant Bill Hoosier.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live and begins our coverage in the line of duty. Adam?
Amanda, Sergeant Hoosier taught a group of high school students in the Nebo School District Citizens Academy internship program. Now, the student we're hearing from says not only did Hoosier prepare all their assignments, but he says Hoosier really kept the whole thing in motion. Hoosier taught them about the complexities of police work and even got them a real-world experience, getting them time with the K-9 team, and also got them to tour the emergency dispatch center and even the county jail. The student says those 2 hours were the best of his week. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Spencer Peterson says Sergeant Hoosier's impact has made him want to pursue a career in law enforcement.
We're all going to miss him. You know, the community for sure has taken a hit. He was just one of the best men that I've ever met.
He says one of the things that stuck out the most to him from everything Hoosier said was when he'd say, you have to stand up for what you know is right.
We're also hearing from people in Mona in Utah County who were shocked by the massive police force that came into town searching for the man accused of killing Sergeant Hoosier. Andy Resquist tells KSL TV he watched it all unfold from a convenience store.
It was very scary. 20 police cars, and there was also SWAT.
He says their small town never sees a police presence like that.
All of the police departments in Utah County are now helping the Santaquin Police Department fill in shifts while their officers grieve. The Utah County Sheriff's Office is helping organize the effort, and they say they've got just about every shift covered through tomorrow.
At this point, we're still waiting to find out when funeral services will be held for Sergeant Bill Hoosier. We will be sure to let you know as soon as we get them, and we will post all that information on KSLNewsRadio.com.
In other news, this Tuesday morning, new testimony in the Chad Daybell trial focuses on Daybell's description of Lori Vallow's kids. Here's KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe.
Lori Vallow's niece says she got close to both Lori and Chad in 2019, and when she moved to Rexburg, she received several different stories about where the 2 children, JJ and Tylee, were. She says Chad rated the 2 children as dark, and he would say that some people would become zombies if darkness overtook them.
An FBI agent also testified yesterday on finding JJ's remains.
Prosecutors in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho say they will not press charges against a man accused of yelling racist slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live with details. Peter?
Amanda, the city of Coeur d'Alene says they do believe they found the person behind this, who is an 18-year-old that they're not going to name. But Coach Lynn Roberts said in March that this was not just harassment, but instead
some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us.
However, Deputy City Attorney Ryan Hunter says he lacks sufficient evidence to back up charges that he was considering, according to multiple reports. The city's mayor says he's disappointed that there's no path forward to hold those responsible accountable, according to the Spokane Spokesman Review. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Israel launched a ground operation into Rafah this morning.
Videos show Israeli flags now flying on the Palestinian side of the border. This as Hamas says they are willing to accept a new ceasefire proposal. The deal, a different agreement than one proposed by Israel, includes a permanent end of military operations and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from areas adjacent to the border inside Gaza. Israel now reviewing the plan, but has yet to agree to these terms.
ABC's Marcus Moore reports that Israel says it's already found 3 Hamas operational tunnels at the Rafah crossing, and they are targeting Hamas fighters.
Weather is definitely affecting the commute along the Wasatch Front. First look traffic, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Well, Amanda, we're keeping an eye on Parley's Canyon, where plows are trying to help out, but really snowy conditions. Right now, chains, four-wheel drive required for all vehicles in Parley's Canyon, Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. For those of you traveling on I-15, wet roads, but so far that hasn't translated into any crashes, at least yet. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Nice to wake up to this morning, that Utah has been ranked the best state in America. And KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with how we got there. Michael?
Tim, our podium spot was given by the U.S. News and World Report, and they point to Utah's economic, educational, and infrastructure growth as our biggest strengths. In a word, the thing Utah has going is consistency. That, and many Utahns have a variety of opportunities to succeed. Still, the state did fall behind in fiscal stability, health care, and equality. And despite the gap, Utah State's Susan Matson tells the report she has faith we're moving in the right direction. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Miss USA says she's going to step down to focus on her mental health. Noelia Voigt is from Utah and says representing Utah and the country has been incredibly meaningful, and it was a difficult decision.
The Miss USA organization says it respects Voigt's need to prioritize herself. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if you or anyone you know is struggling, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 988.
ABC's Lina Moise says the Miss USA organization is reviewing plans for crowning a new Miss USA soon.
Alzheimer's disease is being put in the spotlight here in the state.
The Alzheimer's Foundation of America is hosting a free caregiving and educational conference Wednesday, May 15th in West Valley. The conference will host experts in the Alzheimer's and dementia research field and will allow people to learn all about new treatments and caregiving advice for those supporting loved ones with the disease. One of these experts is the University of Utah's Dr. Donna Cross, who's a part of an effort to repurpose a cancer drug to treat Alzheimer's. Emma Keddington, KSL News Radio.
The Great Salt Lake's Hat Island is now a nesting location for pelicans after an 81-year absence. Program manager for the Great Salt Lake Ecosystem Program, John Luft, says the pelicans are large and an amazing sight to see.
Recognizable birds here at Great Salt Lake, so a lot of people kind of gravitate towards those just because they're so visible and unique and interesting.
Luft says the pelicans probably left the island because of coyotes disturbing the areas where they nested. The island is still accessible by land but closed to the public.
Yeah, John's going to join us on the Outdoor Show Saturday morning at 7:05, so we'll have a little more chance to talk about how this all came about. Traction devices required heading into the mountains today, and boy, you'll need them too. There are plows out, by the way, getting over Parley Summit. We'll check the drive next.
KSL in the palm of your hand.
When the app came out, I knew that I could stream the radio station directly through there.
I just checked there to see if there's anything pertinent.
I regularly use the KSL app.
Get the app for KSL News Radio.
Hey, have you saved more than $200,000 in an IRA or 401k? You may not realize it now, but you've got a big problem on your hands. And that problem is taxes. Because if you don't take advantage of some tax planning strategies now, Uncle Sam could take a big chunk of your hard-earned retirement savings. Learn how you could reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k with a free retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $200,000, schedule your free tax strategy session now by calling 801-896-9622. Discover the tax planning strategies that could dramatically reduce your taxes in retirement. Call 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622. 9622.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Boss Retirement Solutions.
Being present and in the moment for family activities was impossible because Will Burt was so focused on the constant pain in his leg.
My wife likes to take walks. I always kind of dreaded going on walks because they hurt. The boys both play baseball. I coach their teams. I was going to do them and be in pain and be uncomfortable and kind of sacrifice my own health.
An old Achilles injury left Will coping with agonizing pain until he discovered the natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No surgery or steroids. The procedure took place in the office, and Will walked right out.
I feel great. There's no pain. There's no tenderness.
Patients like Will are feeling amazing and living their best lives.
Ironically, just got off the golf course today, so I think that's a good telltale sign that the Achilles is feeling better.
Don't be in pain another day. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 385-766-1987. That's 385-766-1987. 385-766-1987.
Yesterday morning about this time, we were talking about how the entire law enforcement community rallies around a family or a department when something like this happens. It happened in Santaquin, and today we learned that all the police departments in Utah County are filling all of the shifts so that the officers from Santaquin have the appropriate time to grieve.
That's beautiful.
And they said they've got them all covered through tomorrow. That's part of our coverage in the line of duty for you this morning. 6:09, time for a look at traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. We go back to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, Tim, we've got slowdowns through Parley's Canyon. It does look like the snow has stopped falling, at least at the summit for now. So that will help, especially now that the plows look like they've given a pretty good, at least a couple of lanes on the westbound side. Eastbound looks like it still needs a run through there. And right now there's a bigger delay on the eastbound side going towards Park City, including all the way down to the Kimball Junction turn. We've got some slowing on I-80 near the mouth of the canyon as well on that transition to split to 215 to go south. Len?
As you make your way through Weber and Davis counties, not too bad. A few cars starting to wait there at the south entrance to Hill Air Force Base. Otherwise, looking pretty good as you make your way up Weber Canyon to Mountain Green so far. But if you're heading over to Echo Junction, watch out for some snow. Otherwise, heading up in the higher country off of Mountain Green, going up Trappers Loop, making your way up to some of those ski areas. It's of course, there's some wet roads up there and a little snow, but I-15, Legacy, and US 89 right now moving very well. Eric?
From Bluffdale to downtown Salt Lake City, I-15 looking good in Salt Lake County. The 215 Bell Route pretty much looking good on all sides. A little bit of slowing continues eastbound I-80 as you turn to go south on the 215 eastbound. Down Utah County, no problems on the freeway or the major feeder so far. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A morning cold front with steady light rain will give way to rain-snow showers this afternoon, high of 50 and a little breezy out of the northwest. 35 overnight, cloudy skies and a chance for a shower in the Salt Lake Valley. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 43 degrees in Salt Lake City.
What happened with the Boeing Starliner yesterday? I thought that was going to be a successful launch.
They said there was something with an oxygen sensor or something that they just didn't feel right about sending. Yeah, you don't want to send it to space with a question mark there, do you?
No. We'll talk to Jim Ryan, find out what's going on. Coming up in a moment on KSL.
Stay with us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. You know, I would suggest never trying to buy or sell a home without some experts at your fingertips.
Oh, yeah.
And in this market, it has to be the Stern team, not only because they have so many experts that can help you with all angles and things you have to think about, but because they put their money where their mouth is. They spend $35,000 marketing on average every month.
Which is why they sell homes faster than anybody else,
Yeah.
and why they sell more homes than anybody else. But I worked with them personally, and I can tell you, you feel like you are the most important client. Like they'll do whatever it takes to make sure you get the most money for your home, that they find you the right home to move into. They have that, when you work with somebody who's really competent, you have that feeling like they've got it. They've just, you don't worry.
Yeah.
That's how it is with the Stern team.
And we think and worry about, 2 or 3 things. They're thinking about 100 different things that you need to take into consideration. And by the way, they may have an owner for the home you're selling, and they may have a seller for the home you're looking to move into.
Yeah.
And it can all happen within the Stern team.
Just find out more. Go to sternteam.com. In fact, you can get an on-the-spot an analysis of what your home might sell for right there. SternTeam.com or Google the Stern Team.
Are you willing to do something today that will change every tomorrow for the rest of your life? For me, that one thing that changed everything was the day I made the decision to begin my SOTA weight loss journey. SOTA stands for state-of-the-art weight loss because it is state-of-the-art. I was so tired of being a spectator on the bench, out of the game, feeling tired and out of shape. But with my personal SOTA nutritionist, they help me break through bad habits and poor choices and build a better me for today and for the rest of my life. No fads, no potions. I let go of 37 pounds in 90 days. I'm 2.5 years into my journey, and I am still 37 pounds down, have never felt better. The results don't lie. The difference will surprise and amaze you. I always say that when it comes to your SOTA weight loss journey, there's no time to lose, only time to win. So start winning. Your healthy tomorrow starts today. Make the decision today that will change every day for the rest of your life. Check it out, state-of-the-art weight loss at SOTAweightloss.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
You know that feeling? Your air conditioner starts making a weird noise, but you don't know if that's a typical weird noise or potentially expensive weird noise, and you just want somebody smart to come and look at it and maybe get things back to when you had perfectly good air conditioning without a stupid weird noise? Whipple that away. Making weird-sounding air conditioners quiet again is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. Look for our special offers at whipplethataway.com.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a high school student in a law enforcement internship program is speaking out about his instructor, fallen Santaquin Police Sergeant Bill Hoosier, calling him one of the best men he's ever met. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, prosecutors in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho say they will not press charges against a man accused of yelling racist slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Well, so far, no crashes down in the valleys to slow you down, although the roads are really wet. It's as you go into Parley's Canyon and Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons that the snow becomes a real factor, and chains of four-wheel drive are required in those canyons. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Our last day of wet weather, then a warm-up. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
More protests overnight, Chicago and New York City. ABC has the latest.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Students at the University of Chicago protesting against Israel's actions in Gaza. Police cleared a protest encampment at the school. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, humanitarian officials are warning of a disaster if Israel moves into the Gaza city of Rafah. ABC's Marcus Moore in Tel Aviv says military action has begun in Rafah, but ceasefire talks also continue in Egypt.
Videos show Israeli flags now flying on the Palestinian side of the border. This as Hamas says they are willing to accept a new ceasefire proposal. The deal, a different agreement than one proposed by Israel, includes a permanent end of military operations and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from areas adjacent to the border inside Gaza. Israel now reviewing the plan, but has yet to agree to these terms.
President Biden will speak today at the Holocaust Museum's Days of Remembrance ceremony. The White House says he'll condemn anti-Semitism on college campuses and the atrocities of October 7th. Former President Donald Trump will be back in court in New York City as his criminal hush money trial continues. But ABC's Aaron Katersky says he continues to be found in contempt of court.
For a 10th time, Donald Trump has been held in criminal contempt and slapped with a fine for violating the gag order. But the judge conceded monetary fines have not and will not deter Trump. So the judge warned future violations could land Trump in jail.
A tornado watch still in effect for parts of Illinois and Missouri, including St. Louis. Overnight severe storms blamed for one death in Oklahoma. 16 tornadoes were reported across 6 states, including Tennessee. That's where DeKalb County Fire Chief Donnie Green said,
"Knew there was going to be some thunderstorms. We got a thunderstorm warning, but the tornado warning came very sudden."
The first crewed launch of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft called off because of a valve issue. Officials said if it was an unmanned mission, the launch would have gone ahead. You're listening to ABC News.
Matter of fact, let's go in depth on that. Boeing Starliner space launch scrubbed at the last minute.
Joining us live to explain what happened is ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. What was the valve problem, Jim?
Yeah, it was a valve on the rocket itself, and Boeing was quick to point that out, Amanda. Quick to start tweeting and immediately issuing statements saying, hey, the scrub last night did not happen because of anything we did or any of our equipment. It wasn't related to the Starliner spaceship. It was related to a valve on the Atlas V rocket built by United Launch Alliance. Boeing is very careful with its reputation these days, considering the problems over in the aircraft division, considering the delays that have happened in the aerospace division with this launch of a crewed Starliner. It just hasn't happened. It's years behind schedule. And so last night it was hoped that the two astronauts would be put into space. They weren't, and it's all because of this little valve, Amanda.
Sounds like, Jim, this isn't something that can be fixed on the pad either. They've got to move it off of there, right?
Well, maybe. The next launch opportunity comes on Friday, so they may be able to get in there, figure out, at least they know what the problem was and why the alarms were going off. So going in, and think of the valve as like the one on your water heater, right? The one the relief valve that you pull in and it hisses as it releases air from the water heater. This is kind of like that. So it may be a fairly easy, quick fix, and so we'll see what happens in the next couple of days, Tim.
I'm reminded of how much Elon Musk's company struggled before they got that first one up. So maybe they're just having some growing pains.
Well, it's entirely possible. And Musk is kind of out front in this little space race between SpaceX and Boeing, and so Boeing is hoping to catch up at some point, and this Starliner spacecraft is the one that's intended to do that. The mission, by the way, if we look ahead to this, and Barry Wilmore and Suni Williams are the two astronauts. They were all strapped in, set to go, and then 2 hours before lunchtime, it was scrubbed. But they are to make a trip to the International Space Station. It's going to take about 10 days, and it's really to be a test bed for the Boeing Starliner spacecraft.
Yeah. All right, Jim, thanks for your help on this one. ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. You certainly don't want something to go awry on your very first human-occupied launch.
Definitely not.
Yeah. We'll follow the story. Sounds like maybe they'll try and do it again here in a couple of weeks.
6:19 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, travel through the canyon on I-80 it's improving between the mouth of the canyon and at least East Canyon, but up over the summit, we've still got some slick conditions. It does look like plows have cleared all 3 lanes over the summit. Now you're going to see more of the delay going down the side towards Jeremy Ranch and Kimball Junction. And slick conditions along Highway 40 as well, all the way from the I-80 split down past Jordanelle. As you get down into the Heber Valley, then it does look like road conditions improve. Len?
Looking pretty good on I-15 in Davis County, but you have some slowing in Kaysville down to Cherry Hill in either direction. Get a look in there and see what we got. We must have some wet roads in there or an accident. Just saw that crop up, so we'll find out. Otherwise, Highway 89 and everything else is looking pretty good right now. If you're going to the high country, watch out for some snow. Eric?
Approved traction devices required for travel into Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon. Just saw a couple of cars go through Little Cottonwood Canyon. This one camera we have, I wouldn't want to go through there even with the traction devices. I-15 down Utah County, northbound, southbound, looking good from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain. That's a 24-minute drive. Another 18, 19 minutes to get to downtown Salt Lake City. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems ruining your life? Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit TaxHelpUT.com. That's TaxHelpUT.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We've got a high of only 50 degrees today. Rain, snow showers possible, but widely scattered. 51, mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Thursday, 64. Breezy out of the east, partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny, 69 by Friday. Weekends shaping up to be quite nice. 73 on Saturday and Sunday, 77. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Just when you thought the weather couldn't get stranger, crazy hailstorm in Layton, Kaysville with lightning about 10 minutes ago.
Isn't that crazy? We got a couple of texts about hail in Layton.
Yeah. Right now in Salt Lake City, it's 43 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I always get a kick out of the people who send texts to the station, overnight especially. We got one last night. Hey, I'm in the Wendy's as you go to baggage claim.
I don't think they meant to send that to us, did they?
You can, anytime you want, if you want to get those up-to-the-minute, breaking news alerts to your phone, because you're not always close to a radio, just text the word news to 57500, and we'll get you any of those breaking updates.
I can't help but think somebody's family member or friend is still wandering around the...
He's at the Wendy's.
Wandering around the airport.
Baggage claim.
Just looking for him. Coming up, we'll check money news. Stay with us.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Did you know simple maintenance rejuvenates your asphalt roof for 30 to 50% longer? Don't wait for a disaster. Go to the Masters at MasterRoofingUtah.com to schedule your free assessment today.
Hey, Steve, have you noticed your utility bills? Mine have almost doubled.
Yeah, trust me and call Brad at Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning. He got me not just a better system, but a carrier for about half the price of the big HVAC companies. These super high energy systems can save thousands on utilities, and Brad showed me how to get almost $5,000 in utility and government rebates.
You have their number?
385-GET-HEAT. I even heard that if you get a system before the end of the month, they'll throw in a free water heater.
385-GET-HEAT.
Yep.
Got it.
Or head to GilletteServices.com.
A slow network is no network for business. That's why more choose Comcast Business. And now we're introducing Ultimate Speed for Business, our fastest plans yet. We're up to 12 times faster than Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And existing customers could even get up to triple the speeds at no additional cost. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability and advanced cybersecurity. It's Ultimate Speed from Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Don't miss out on our fastest speed plans yet. Get started with internet and security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com to switch today. In 62324, restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabits per second internet and security edge. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares Comcast Business 1.25 gig to 100 megabits per second of Verizon 5G Business, AT&T Wireless Broadband, and T-Mobile for Business. Up to 3 times download for existing essential and standard internet customers.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. P.F. Chang's is offering Mother's Day bouquets for a limited time, fortune cookie bouquets. The cookies are filled with heartfelt and funny fortunes. Unlike fortune cookies, my love for you is unbreakable. They will cost you $40.
High-end fitness chain Equinox is launching a $40,000 program to improve health and longevity. It includes a personalized health program that includes personal training, nutrition plans, sleep coaching, and massage therapy.
Amazon will spend almost $9 billion to expand cloud storage and infrastructure in Singapore. It gives them a larger slice of the global tech pie.
Can you imagine what their server room or building or state must look like?
It must be.
It's crazy.
For miles.
All right, markets are mixed today, and it's narrow trading. After a good day yesterday, the Dow is still up 19, the S&P is up but less than 2, the NASDAQ trailing, it's off 24.
Man, it's a lot better on I-80 over Parley Summit than it was earlier, but still slow. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
In a world where ugly siding, leaky gutters, and inefficient windows are sapping homeowners of their will to live, one company must save us all. This year, join RGS Exteriors as it embarks on a mission to eliminate outdated home exteriors, one Utah home at a time. Every plank of old, ugly siding must be replaced. Every leaky gutter must be eradicated. Every inefficient, energy-sapping window must be vanquished once and for all. Begin your epic remodeling quest by calling RGS Exteriors for a free estimate. Discover how a heroic team of experts will save your siding, gutters, or windows for a fair, no-nonsense price. Call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or journey online to rgsexteriors.com. RGS Exteriors, coming soon to a home near you.
This is Jeff Stout with Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Interest rates are not the only thing that has evolved in the mortgage industry. The way loan programs are priced has also undergone some changes. These days, sometimes FHA loans work out better, even factoring in mortgage insurance. This is because loans have what are called loan level pricing adjustments, and they are usually much higher on conventional loans. These fees are more prominent with cash-out refinances, low down payment purchases, and lower credit score scenarios. These extra costs end up pushing interest rates higher, and this is why a rate quote without context is usually inaccurate. It can be confusing, but we can help you sort through the numbers to see which option fits your situation. Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple, 801-264-9494. That's 264-9494. Or on the web at finkmcgregor.com, NMLS 289115.
This week's movie show brought to you by My Hearing Center. Schedule a hearing evaluation and be entered to win a set of premium hearing aids by tuning in Friday from 10 to 1.
Time again for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Those roads are looking better at the summit, Andy.
Yes, although it does look like we've got a lane restriction right now. I'm watching people move out of that left lane as they head east towards Park City, right at the top of the summit, getting ready to go down the hill towards Jeremy Ranch. You've got slick conditions along Highway 40 as well, from the I-80 split all the way down past Jordanelle and into the Heber Valley. Len?
Well, taking away into Kaysville, very wet roads kicking up the spring, slowing down the drive southbound between Kaysville and Farmington, and northbound from the Kaysville Ponds to 200 North, where we're seeing some UHP lights on the right side to watch out for. Otherwise, it's also slow on US 89 now, coming out of Farmington from Lagoon, either direction up to Kaysville, about 200 North. So apparently some drainage problems up there with a lot of water there. Eric?
Touch of slowing northbound Bangerter Highway approaching the 201 highway. I-15 looks good in Salt Lake County. It does too in Utah County. Starting to see some congestion on Mountain View Corridor at Redwood Road, where Mountain View turns into 2100 North. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems are ruining your life? Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Rain and snow off and on today, a high of 50 degrees. Right now, 39 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 6:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
We've gotten a lot of rain and snow with this storm, and those impressive totals are only expected to grow even more today.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, several areas of our mountains have already logged a foot or more of snow. Alta has clocked over 2 feet and counting. Here in the valleys, KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says most areas got anywhere from an inch to over 2 inches of water. We still have more coming today. Matt says in the valleys, we could see another.
Generally speaking, about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of water from about Salt Lake City south into Utah Valley. Mountaintops could pick up maybe another 5 to 10 inches of snow.
We could see some more pop-up storms later on today, but today we really start to see the storm break up. By this weekend, we could finally be back in the 70s. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
UDOT has plans to start clearing Guardsman Pass this morning, and Mother Nature definitely adding to the snow totals there. UDOT says it takes over 200 workers to clear all that deep, dense snow from the pass. At this point, they say it's too early to set an opening date, however, for the road.
Governor Spencer Cox has signed a letter along with other governors around the country speaking out against a Pentagon proposal to take members of the National Guard and add them to the Space Force. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live with more. Peter?
Amanda, this new policy would allow the Department of Defense to skip over governor's approval before they move National Guardsmen to the Space Force. It has to pass through Congress first, though. Governor Spencer Cox says the proposal would undermine a century of U.S. governors' authority as the sole commanders-in-chief over their National Guard forces. Military.com says this would actually affect 1,000 space-focused guardsmen from New York to Alaska, but there's none in Utah. Cox says that it's the principle at stake And the Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall writes in a letter that the effect on states would actually be pretty negligible. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. More universities are either canceling or adjusting graduation plans because of war protests on their campuses. We get the details from ABC's M. Wynn.
Students at the Rhode Island School of Design took over an administrative building last night, barricading entrances with tables and chairs as crowds gathered outside the building. At MIT, pro-Palestinian protesters broke through the barricades to retake an encampment.
Columbia University has now canceled their main commencement ceremony, but will still hold a smaller scale celebration.
An American soldier is being detained in Russia.
U.S. officials say they're still trying to get to the bottom of why exactly Staff Sergeant Black would go to Russia in the first place. ABC reached Black's mother at her home, and she said that he had met a Russian woman named Sasha who was working as a bartender near his base. Now, according to Black's mother, they were dating. They had a very volatile relationship. She says that Sasha, the woman, the girlfriend, was deported to Russia a few months ago, and that her son, Gordon Black, wanted to use his leave to visit her.
ABC's Ann Flaherty says Russian officials say they detained the soldier on charges of stealing.
Senator Bernie Sanders is 82 years old, but he says he isn't done serving in Washington, D.C. He's announced he's running for another 6-year term.
Young voters in Utah did not turn out in large numbers in the 2022 election. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson reports.
While more than a quarter of Utah's voting age population is 18 to 29 years old, this age group only represented about 12% of Utah's votes in the 2022 midterm election. U.S. Census Bureau data released in April shows that's significantly less than somewhere like the District of Columbia, which has the same percentage of young voters but had a way higher turnout.
Professors at the Hinckley Institute of Politics say one reason for our lower numbers could be the amount or number of people ages 18 to 21 serving religious missions.
Let's go back over to Andy for your first look traffic.
And right now, if you're on I-15, looks like we've got a crash on the southbound side going from Kaysville into Farmington. We also had, that was where the water really pooled up heavy yesterday and caused massive delays. Don't know if they've got the drainage thing fixed, but there is slowing in that same area again. And we still have snowy conditions, although it's not snowing any actively right now on I-80 through Parley's Canyon. But from the Parley Summit to the Jeremy Ranch is going to be your most slick stretch. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
People around the country today are being asked to learn more about the dangers of fentanyl.
Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. According to the CDC, fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that is 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. Emergency room physician Dr. Jennifer Plum is the co-founder of Utah Naloxone. She says because of how prevalent synthetic opioids are, everyone should have access to naloxone.
In almost 10 years, we've had 10,646 times that people have reported to us that they used naloxone to save a life around them. That's just in our, one organization.
Utah Naloxone offers free training and free naloxone kits through their website. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
A family in Elkridge in Utah County is mourning after their 19-year-old son died from a bull riding accident. Megan Anderson tells KSL TV that her son Tate loved bull riding from an early age.
He lived, breathed, loved. That was his language, was bull riding.
She says her son had a contagious enthusiasm. There is a GoFundMe set up to help the family with expenses on the KSL TV website.
Animal shelters around Utah are trying to meet the goal of turning Utah into a no-kill shelter state.
The Uinta County Animal Shelter was challenged by Best Friends Animal Sanctuary to increase their adoption rate. The challenge ended this weekend, but it was so successful that it has been extended for at least another week. The shelter's Riley Olson says Best Friends is a great partner.
They are covering the whole adoption fee, so technically the animals are free.
Olson says there are many dogs available, especially puppies, which is odd because they usually have adult dogs. 23 animals found new homes in April, which was a much higher number of adoptions than usual. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
We have a southbound crash now on I-15 going through Kaysville, part of a slowdown stretch that's going to break up, I guess, when you get to Farmington. We'll check that spot and the rest of the valley next.
Investigators are piecing together what happened.
Multiple units responded, including SWAT units, in an attempt to locate the suspect.
In the line of duty, all this week on KSL News Radio.
Believe it or not, most small businesses don't have a 401k.
If you don't have a 401k, you are missing out on the greatest wealth creation tool ever created. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and many 401ks are overpriced for the employer, have expensive and underperforming investment options, and have tedious administrative provisions. Not at Trajan Wealth. We can set up a 401k for a company for only $8 per employee, a $65 per plan fee, plus a small advisory fee. That's right, not thousands or even the tens of thousands you've been quoted. And do it all in less time than it takes to sit in traffic. If you have 5 or more employees, these 401ks will help you attract and retain top talent. And if you're an employee and don't have a 401k, tell your boss. Call Trajan Wealth today. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Services offered through a third-party partner.
UDOT Construction Alert. Plan ahead as the northbound I-215 on-ramp to the airport will be closed Friday to Tuesday for bridge maintenance. Plan extra time for an alternate route.
You know, Deb, you and I have had this conversation so many times. We think, oh, I wish I had a little more light here or maybe a ceiling fan there.
That's why we love Master Electrical. So anytime we have an electrical problem, we know we can call them and they will give us their upfront pricing guarantee.
Because we're not going to do it yourself. We're going to leave it to the professionals. And this upfront pricing guarantee is fantastic. I'm sure you've been bitten by bids in the past where they say, oh, that's going to take half a day. And then 2 weeks later, the bid and the invoice have nothing to do with each other.
Not only will you get their upfront pricing guarantee, but you will never see an upcharge. Their pricing system simply won't allow it.
Master Electrical proudly serves from Logan to Santaquin.
They do everything that has to do with electrical, and they're always open, including for emergency services. The phone number to call is 801-543-2222.
801-543-2222, or check them out online at masterelectrical.com.
It's not just the snow totals that are impressive from this storm yesterday, Amanda. Matt posted a graph that shows Centerville got 2.25 inches of rain. And South Salt Lake, 1.5 inches of rain.
So it's wet, heavy snow.
Yeah. So just helping and adding to our water totals for the season. We're going to keep an eye on a continued storm here this morning.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Amanda traveled on I-15, on I-80 through the canyon, still struggling from the summit towards the Park City portion, although with the snow having stopped and the plows coming through, it is starting to snow again, but not as heavy as it was earlier this morning. So plan on extra travel time between Salt Lake and Park City, maybe an extra 10 minutes at this point, but that is a big improvement, and it does look like they've removed the chains 4-wheel drive restrictions for regular vehicles going into Parley's Canyon. Len?
Yeah, we're looking at Shepherd Lane right now. It's quite foggy in there, and so you add that into your wetness. Looks like we have a car off to the looks like on the left shoulder there as well, facing the wrong direction. That is northbound I-15 there. So you got a real wet swamp going on there again in Kaysville. Very wet roads, kicking up the spray, slowing down the drive between there and Farmington. We have a northbound crash on the Kaysville. Actually, it's northbound at 900 north on the right shoulder, and another one is southbound at 200 north in Kaysville, so be careful in there. Eric?
We don't have a lot of crashes down in Utah County right now. Everything looks good from Provo up to Point of the Mountain. You do have continued success on the roads, at least no crashes reported from Point of the Mountain all the way to downtown. Some northbound slowing over on Mountain View Corridor, approaching 3500 south in West Valley City. Get Mom the best Mother's Day gift ever, a Minky Couture blanket. Save 50% using promo code KSL50 in stores and online at minkycouture.com. The best Mother's Day gift ever. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A band of rain-snow showers this morning will give way to scattered rain-snow showers, high of 50 and a little breezy. Overnight, chilly 35 with a slight chance for a shower. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Cloudy downtown, 39 degrees.
Election misinformation courtesy of AI. More on that just ahead on KSL.
Right now, it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
If you're married, hopefully your relationship has flourished and grown over the past 8 years, but even if it hasn't, I'll tell you what has grown: the value of that ring on your finger. Gold prices are exploding this year, and that comes after a steady rise since 2016. That ring, those earrings, and any other golden bauble in your possession is worth more than ever. Gold is up 116% over the past 8 years. An ounce of the glittering metal is going for more than $2,300. Gold bugs with those big bars under the mattress are reaping the rewards. I mean, you hear the commercials.
Gold protects my purchasing power against runaway inflation, and it's the only currency I trust.
And the fast-talking guy at the end.
Call now to get a free gold kit.
So you'd think gold must be going up because of inflation, but that's not quite the story. Truth is, China has been buying gold by the ton. The Chinese government doesn't want to be reliant on the American dollar, so the New York Times reports they are selling U.S. Treasury bonds and snapping up gold like there's no tomorrow. That's the government, and Chinese citizens are doing the same. They buy these little gold beans with their paychecks, tiny trinkets that are 1/30th of an ounce of gold each, and sell for $87. Chinese people don't trust the banks, so tens of millions of people are buying these beans and further driving up the price of gold. China is dumping U.S. assets, which might be bad for the U.S. economy, but it's great if you want to sell your wedding ring.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
The law offices of Jordan Wilcox bring you the Minute of News. IRS harassing you? The law offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news.
My name is Jim. So I went through a difficult time with a divorce. Then the economy crashed. I was out of work. Combination of the way that my ex-wife was filing the tax returns caused mine to get rejected, and I found myself in a difficult situation that I didn't know how to get out of.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
I could not believe that it was even possible. I had hoped for something. Never dreamt in my wildest dreams he would get what he got.
You need someone to fight for you.
We owed $80,300 and something, and I paid $1,000.
Visit taxhelput.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit taxhelput.com.
It was incredible. Do yourself a favor. Call Jordan Wilcox.
That's taxhelput.com.
Enjoy the 20th annual Soldier Hollow Sheet Dog Classic, presented by Purina Pro Plan and sponsored by Powder River and IFA Country Stores. Family fun not to miss. Visit soldierhollowclassic.com.
KSL News Time, 6:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
we've already gotten an impressive amount of valley rain and mountain snow from this storm, and those totals are expected to grow even more today. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Governor Spencer Cox is joining other governors around the country speaking against a Pentagon proposal to add National Guard members to the Space Force.
Third, a look at traffic and weather together.
Crashes on both sides of I-15 in the Farmington-Kaysville stretch is causing delays right now, as is the rain. And we've still got slick conditions on I-80 over Parley Summit. Although the snow isn't coming down like it was, it's still pretty slick in both directions. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
50s with showers today, then we're warming and drying. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The trial of former President Donald Trump continues today, and we now know who will be on the witness stand.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Adult film actress Stormy Daniels expected to appear as a witness today at former President Trump's criminal hush money trial. She claims she had an affair with Trump before he ran for president. Prosecutors say he falsified business records with payments to keep her quiet. He denies ever having a relationship. ABC's Eric Katursky says Monday a Trump Organization bookkeeper showed allegedly phony invoices and ledger entries.
On cross-examination, the defense suggested these were legit legal expenses because Michael Cohen was Trump's lawyer. And they asked the bookkeeper, you never had any reason to believe President Trump was hiding anything? She said no. Prosecutors say they have about 2 weeks left before they rest their case.
Still some hope for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, even after Israel sent military forces into the city of Rafah, which the U.S. urges Israel not to attack. One person killed by severe weather in Oklahoma. There were 16 tornadoes reported across 6 states. This is ABC News.
Artificial intelligence is often defined as a tool, but can it help us in the upcoming election?
KSL TV's Danielle Rivera puts it to the test.
Inside Davis County's election center, we figured County Clerk Brian McKenzie would be the perfect person to help us put 5 different AI bots to the test.
First, a basic question.
And we're using some of the most common Utah voter questions, like, when is the next election in Utah? ChatGPT told us.
On November 5th, 2024.
Which Brian rates.
That's kind of true, but kind of not true.
Google's Gemini told us.
I'm still learning how to answer this question. In the meantime, try Google search.
To Google it.
Looks like this AI is still rather young, and learning a lot of things may not be a great resource to find out election information.
Anthropic's Claude. It's thinking. Just kept giving us this error message.
I would rather no answer than wrong answer.
But that's exactly what we got from Snapchat's My AI.
This one is not giving us accurate information.
It said Utah's next general election is November 3rd, which is just wrong.
It's early, which is better than late, but it is inaccurate.
Meta's AI was the only one that gave us a date in June.
This is wonderful. So this is the first one that popped up and gave us a heads up that there's a primary election.
Time to try a more difficult question. Here's ChatGPT again.
Can I show up and vote if I'm not registered to vote yet?
Let's see what it tells us. If you're not registered to vote and show up at a polling place on election day, you will not be able to vote.
Is that true?
That is not true.
Not true, Brian says, because even if you're not registered to vote in Utah, you're not out of luck. You can show up, register, and cast a vote on Election Day. Snapchat's AI got it wrong, too.
The average citizen may look at this and be like, well, I'm not registered, I'm out of luck.
But it wasn't all misinformation. For example, Brian was impressed with what ChatGPT knew about Utah's vote-by-mail process.
While ChatGPT seemed to be the most advanced of the AI bots we tried, none of them answered our questions with 100% accuracy. And that, Brian says, is the takeaway.
We can't put 100% confidence in these new technologies as they're still learning and as we're learning how to interact with them.
We're all just trying to catch up and stay abreast of it. As a teacher, I see AI submitted, material sometimes, and I have to write back to the student and just say, I can't grade this.
Well, and the fear is, you talk about trying to keep up or catch up. It's always going to be ahead of us, it seems.
Yeah.
That's what they're telling us.
Right.
It's always going to be a case of us trying to figure out where AI is going.
But if it can be a help, then that's wonderful. It's those times when it gets it wrong that scares me because we'll be depending on it.
Yeah.
Brian says the best way to get information is to go to vote.utah.gov.
KSL News Time now, 6:49. Let's check that drive. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. And it's looking a little better out there, but still a stormy day.
Yeah, it is nice. One of the things about spring storms is that it can dump a bunch of snow, but after a couple of hours, the road conditions can improve a bunch. It is really slushy, though, especially in the outside lanes as you come down from Parley Summit towards Jeremy Ranch. That's going to be where you're going to see your slowest traffic. But there is some westbound slowing as well heading towards Salt Lake City. Highway 40 is much improved between I-80 and Jordanelle as well. Glenn?
Well, we're looking at this pond developing again between Kaysville and Farmington, and now we've got about 3 accidents that have cropped up very quickly here. Northbound I-15 at Park Lane on the right shoulder. Also, we have another one. This has developed. That was Shepherd Lane. Northbound I-15 right lane is closed. And then further up there in Kaysville, there's one there at 200 North, and that is southbound in the curve there on the right shoulder, slowing things down. Further up north from there, there's another one southbound I-15. That is at about 700 South as you make your way. That is actually in Layton there as you make your way almost up to SR 193. Eric?
A long expanse of problem-free driving northbound I-15 from Provo all the way to downtown Salt Lake. It is getting a little bit slow over on Bangerter Highway from Taylorsville up to the 201 highway, as well as on Mountain View Corridor approaching 3500 South. A little bit of eastbound slowing coming out of Magna on the 201 highway heading over to Mountain View and 5600 West. The Two Brothers Mattress huge Memorial Day sale is going on now on all Serta mattresses. Save up to $500 on Serta mattresses. Visit one of their 5 stores or twobrothersmattress.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with cold and wet conditions. We'll go scattered rain, snow showers this afternoon and breezy out of the northwest, high of only 50. We bump it to 51 tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Then we're partly cloudy, dry, 64 on Thursday, but breezy winds out of the east. 69, mostly sunny skies on Friday, Saturday 73, Sunday, 77, mostly sunny skies. We're flirting with 80 by Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Looking out the window makes me want to put my Christmas lights up.
Don't do that.
Right now it's 39 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We'll check money news coming up here in a minute. KSL News Time, 6:52. Looking out that window, I'm thinking, yeah, we have sort of flashed back into winter here. And with all the snow in the mountains, I had some friends yesterday posting pictures of them up skiing at Snowbird in particular because they're still up and running. But I also have friends who cut their ski season short because they were just having knee problems or a hip problem. If you've been putting off getting that achy joint taken care of because you want to avoid surgery, you don't like the idea of steroids, and you certainly don't want to have the downtime that comes along with it all, I've got some great news for you. The future of medicine is here in the Valley at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management you've seen in decades. It's regenerative medicine, and they are under the direction of their national medical director, Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to make sure you get the relief you're looking for without surgery and, of course, without that downtime. You need to call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and to learn more about some exciting options. Here's the number in Salt Lake City, 385-766-1987. 385-766-1987. Call QC Kinetics, 385-766-1987.
Get Mr. Mac's Performance Missionary Package. Includes 1 performance suit, 4 and collar stretch shirts, 3 ties, 1 mission belt, 1 pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy shoes. Just $595.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Watching Utah's Money this morning is brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Airbus taking advantage of all the airplane problems. The company delivered 61 aircraft in April. That's up 13% from April a year ago. So far this year, they've delivered 203 planes.
I have to tell my sister-in-law about this next story because there's an airline, a new airline that is launching. It's catered to pets, particularly dogs. Bark Airlines offers white paw experience, including calming treats, noise-canceling earmuffs, and jackets for a stress-free flight. Flights start at $6,000 a ticket, which includes you as the owner.
I wonder if the inside of the plane is designed differently, too, so that, there's one seat for a passenger or an owner and then a particular bed or something for the dog. I don't know.
I'd like to go on that flight just to see what it's like to be on a plane full of dogs.
I think you'd only do it once. Disney says their streaming service Disney Plus was profitable. Get this, for the first time. The company's direct-to-consumer segment, which includes Disney Plus and Hulu, made $47 million compared to their $587 million loss last year.
The markets are pretty flat right now. Dow futures up 31, that's less than a tenth. S&P futures up 5, that's a tenth. And the Nasdaq futures down 14, which is less than a tenth.
No less than 4 crashes on I-15, as well as slowdowns over wet roads. We had some hydroplaning earlier, and there was a car that had hit a barrier on my way in this morning early. We'll check the drive next.
There's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year approaching, barbecues, and warm weather months ahead. Celebrate in a clean home by calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Take advantage of Zero Res's flash sale today. $25 per room with a 4-room minimum. You know Zero Res as the zero residue carpet cleaners that don't leave behind any dirt-attracting soaps and chemicals that other carpet cleaners use. Don't risk it with the other guys or go DIY with your carpet cleaning. It will end up soaked for days and actually do more damage than good. Keep the mud outside and not under your carpets. Just check out the 3,300 raving customer reviews online with a 4.8 Google rating. Schedule today and get 1 room Zero Resified, starting at just $25 with a 4-room minimum. Make sure to mention KSL. Book with ease at ZeroRes.com or call 801-288-9376. Zero Res. Spell it backward or forward. It's the right way to clean. Zero Res.
It's time for Rush Hour Rivals. In one corner is a helmet-donning bicyclist. In the other corner is a seatbelt-wearing driver. Can the driver keep a 3-foot distance on the road? Can the cyclist ride in the bike lane and wear reflective gear? Who will win?
I'm fine to ride in the bike lane and wear reflective gear.
Yeah, and I can easily keep a 3-foot distance.
So, not rivals at all?
Nah.
Meet in the middle so your paths don't. A message from the Utah Department of Public Safety.
My name is Case Lawrence, and I'm running for Congress. My wife and I are the parents of 6 wonderful kids, and now we have 2 beautiful grandkids. We raised our kids right here in Utah and have always felt like Utah is the best place in America to have a family. More than anything, I'm running for Congress to make sure that doesn't change. I hope you'll join me. I'm Case Lawrence, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Case for Congress.
6:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, travel in Parley's Canyon improving again as the snow has kind of eased up again. And from Parley's Summit to Kimball Junction, you'll have to add a couple of extra minutes. But for the most part, it's looking more normal for a post-storm in the spring. Don't see much in the way of slowing on Highway 40 anymore. Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons are both open. They had changed four-wheel drive restrictions for a while. Actually, looks like that may still be the case. Len?
Wet roads in Kaysville and Farmington, and 3 crashes in this area, and another one in there. The one is crashes southbound I-15 200 north in Kaysville on the right shoulder. Another one northbound I-15 to Park Lane on the right shoulder, and a crash northbound I-15 Shepherd Lane with the right lane closed. Although it looks like this has cleared, still very slow in this area. Either direction, Farmington to Kaysville, and further north of all this, on dry roads, a crash in Layton is southbound I-15 700 south on the right shoulder. Eric?
Northbound slowing Mountain View corridor approaching 3500 south, and on I-15 going from Midvale into Murray and going by 3300 south. Use Superior Water and Air for all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Call 974-9090 or visit superiorwaterair.com. Superior Water and Air. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's high only going to be 50. Tomorrow, 51. But by Monday, almost 80 degrees, believe it or not. Right now, raining in downtown Salt Lake City, and it's cold. 39 degrees this hour.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. Good morning. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story on the 7 o'clock report.
We're hearing from one of the young people mentored by the fallen Santaquin police officer, Sergeant Bill Hoosier.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage in the line of duty. Adam?
Amanda, Sergeant Hoosier was an instructor in the Nebo School District's Citizen Academy internship for high school students. The program is only 2 hours a week, but one student said Hoosier set up all the assignments and really kept the whole thing in motion. Taught them about law enforcement, even got them some time with the K-9 team and a visit to places like the Emergency Dispatch Center and the county jail. The student says Hoosier's death hit him like a freight train. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
That student, Spencer Peterson, says those 2 hours with Sergeant Hoosier was always the best part of the week.
We're all going to miss him. You know, the community for sure has taken a hit. He was just one of the best men that I've ever met.
He tells KSL TV Hoosier's influence helped him decide to pursue a career in law enforcement in the future.
The manhunt for the driver who police say hit and killed Sergeant Hoosier left some small communities in shock. Wyatt Newton tells KSL TV police were at every intersection in Mona.
This is unheard of down here. Never seen anything like that here in Mona.
He says officers were practically going door to door during the search.
All of the police departments in Utah County are now helping the Santaquin Police Department fill in shifts while their officers grieve. The Utah County Sheriff's Office is helping organize that effort, and they say they've got just about every shift covered through tomorrow.
At this point, we're still waiting to find out when funeral services will be held for Sergeant Bill Hoosier. We will be sure to let you know as soon as we get them, and we will post all that information on KSLNewsRadio.com.
In other news this morning, a new witness in the Chad Daybell trial talks about how Daybell would label Lori Vallow's kids.
Melanie Pulowski is Lori Vallow's niece. She testified that Chad Daybell would use a pendant to get answers from God and would give blessings to her over the phone. Pulowski says she moved to Rexburg in September 2019 but never saw Lori's two kids, JJ and Tylee. She would, though, get different answers on their whereabouts. She testified that she thought it was Chad who labeled both JJ and Tylee as dark before their deaths. She also thought it was Chad who considered people zombies if darkness overtook them. Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
The city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, is out with a decision about what the University of Utah women's basketball coach called racial hate crimes. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live with the report. Peter?
Amanda, the city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho won't be filing charges against an 18-year-old they say yelled slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team. Deputy City Attorney Ryan Hunter says the man shouted the N-word and a misogynistic word at Utah players, but that's not enough to constitute disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, and malicious harassment. Hunter says the incident was abhorrently racist and misogynistic, but that there's not enough evidence to count as unprotected speech under current law. Utes coach Lynn Roberts said originally that these were racial hate crimes. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. We are monitoring reports this morning that the Israeli military is moving forward with its long-planned offensive in Rafah. Here's ABC's Hem Nguyen.
A Palestinian security official and an Egyptian official told the Associated Press that Israel tanks have entered the city of Rafah, which has been a refuge for more than 1 million displaced Palestinians, a city Israel describes as Hamas's final stronghold.
Last evening, Hamas says they agreed to a ceasefire agreement proposed by Egypt and Qatar, but Israel says that deal does not meet their requirements.
The government is out with new numbers saying the trust fund used to pay Social Security benefits will run out of money in 2035. That's a year later than previously projected, thanks to a large number of people who have jobs.
KSL weather now with Matt Johnson. It's been a cold morning with rain in some spots, a lot of snow in the mountains.
A band of rain-snow showers at 7 a.m. will then break up into scattered showers as we work into the afternoon. By the lunch hour, cloudy skies with a 30% chance for a shower, temperatures in the mid-40s. By afternoon, that daytime heating could help to pop up a couple of showers in the evening hours, but look for a high of only 50 today with some breezy winds.
Matt says if you're sick of the cold, you can look forward to the weekend when we get back into the 70s.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Traffic's pretty rough in Kaysville on I-15 in both directions. You got some southbound backups from 200 North all the way down to Park Lane in Farmington, similar to what we had yesterday. We've also got a crash on the northbound side where the road's very wet. Highway 89 in that same area having issues. And then we've got a couple of problems. Southbound 215, the ramp to West 80 on the west side near the airport, that's closed this morning. And now we've got a crash on the ramp from eastbound 80 to north 215. It's rough. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Look at this. The U.S. News and World Report has ranked Utah as the best state in America. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with how we got there. Michael?
Tim, we took the top of this podium alongside New Hampshire and Nebraska for the best overall ranking. But if you want to get into specifics, Utah performed the best in economy, infrastructure, and even education. Turns out, Utahns don't seem to mind being generous in funding public higher ed, and college students typically have low debt when they graduate thanks to a working through college lifestyle. Still, these rankings represent methodology and are prone to change, and as far as improvements go, Utah's ranking in environment and gender equality didn't fare as well. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Boeing's Starliner space mission was canceled last night, just a couple of hours before takeoff.
Veteran astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore were strapped in and ready to go when they got the message from Mission Control.
Yeah, Roger. So the engineering team has evaluated the vehicle is not in a configuration where we can proceed with flight today. We're going to initiate our scrub and recycle operation.
The issue was a faulty valve on the Atlas V rocket that was to carry Starliner into space. The next possible launch window comes Friday. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Boeing is also dealing with a new FAA investigation looking to see if maintenance crews were completing the required inspections. The investigation centered around the 787 Dreamliner and parts that attach the wings to the fuselage.
An Elk Ridge family is mourning after the death of their 19-year-old son in a bull riding accident. Roy and Megan Anderson say their son Tate wanted to be a bull rider since he was little.
He loved to make people happy.
That kid could have been a kid for life.
Tate was stepped on by a bull Saturday night and later died at Utah Valley Hospital. There is a GoFundMe set up to help the family cover expenses, and you can find it at ksltv.com.
Later today, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall and the City Council are expected to go over next year's recommended budget. They'll be looking at improvements around the city and upcoming construction projects.
BYU Pathway Worldwide has officially launched their 3-year bachelor's degree programs. The degree is offered through BYU Idaho and Ensign College. The program gets rid of elective credits to help students earn their degrees faster.
Investigators in Poland say an effort to identify some human skeletons found at the base of a base used by Adolf Hitler have come to an end.
The advanced decay of the skeletons discovered in February made it impossible to determine the cause of death, say the Polish prosecutors. The area used to be part of Germany called Wolf's Lair. About 200 Nazi bunkers and military barracks in deep woods was the site of the failed assassination attempt on Hitler in July 1944, noted in this British newsreel.
Everyone at the conference, with the exception of General Korten and the Führer, was blown out of the windows by the bomb.
The site is now a tourist attraction. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Coming up on 7:09, let's check the drive. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy, is that a truck that's off in the dirt there?
Yeah, it's on the ramp from eastbound 80 to go to north 215. We've had a lot of trucks crash on this ramp today, again the case. So this is affecting people who are trying to go from east 80 to north 215. At the moment, I think they're forcing people to go to Redwood Road instead because of this ramp and this crash. Emergency vehicles are on the scene. But we also have a southbound closure of the ramp from 215 to go to I-80, although that one was planned and it's been in place all morning. So kind of a pain out by the airport. We've also got slowdowns on Mountain View Corridor, pretty thick near 3500 South, and I-15 a little bit slow near 33rd South. Len?
Well, we're looking at this big lake between Kaysville and Farmington causing lots of problems. We had 3 crashes in the Farmington-Kaysville area. Those have cleared pretty much, but we have one further north of here on 700 South. That is actually in Layton, 700 South, southbound on the right shoulder. But now we've got 2 crashes that have cropped up on US 89, northbound I-15. Coming out of US 89 in Farmington on the left shoulder, and a new one that is US 89 at Nichols Road in Fruit Heights on the right shoulder. And we're looking at those some of those slowdowns, but otherwise the freeways are moving along fairly well if you can get past those. Eric?
We got some wet roads out on I-80 through Parley's Canyon. It's not the slowdowns are not as bad as it was as we started off the morning drive, but you do have reduced speed still from basically the quarry all the way out to the Kimball Junction exit in both directions. I-15 in Utah County is looking solid. You got normal drive times between Spanish Fork and Point of the Mountain. That's 24 minutes northbound. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL hourly forecast, a band of rain snow showers at 7 a.m. will then break up into scattered showers as we work into the afternoon. By the lunch hour, cloudy skies with a 30% chance for a shower, temperatures in the mid-40s. By afternoon, that daytime heating could help to pop up a couple of showers in the evening hours, but look for a high of only 50 today with some breezy winds. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
It's on again, off again rain in Salt Lake City, 39 degrees.
And coming up in just a moment, the Pelicans are back to the Great Salt Lake. We'll tell you what's going on in just a moment.
Miss USA, who comes from Utah, is stepping down. Noelia Voigt says she's giving up her crown to focus on her mental health. We get more from ABC's Lionel Moise.
Mental health came to the forefront in the pageant world with the untimely death of former Miss USA Chesley Christ in 2022. Christ was an attorney and correspondent for the TV show Extra. Her mother details some of Christ's struggles with depression in the new book, By the Time You Read This, adding to the memoir Chris was about to publish before dying by suicide at age 30.
We just want to remind everybody that if you or anyone you know is struggling with your mental health, the Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day at 988.
Rookie minicamps are starting in the NFL, meaning players with local ties who signed with teams are getting a chance to show off what they've got. One of them is former BYU lineman Kingsley Suamataia, who is now with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's excited to help protect quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick was probably the second guy that hit me up, getting ready. He said he's fired up, so just trying to get in the playbook as fast as I can, best help our O-line and the team. So Patrick has been a great mentor as well. Just waking up to a message from him, it just blows my mind.
He also says it's fun playing for a former BYU player, Coach Andy Reid.
Patrick Mahomes is also known for giving his linemen who protect him during the game some nice gifts.
Oh, really?
At the end of seasons, yeah. The Utah Utes picked up an unusual commit for the upcoming football season. This is a strange twist. Former BYU and Baylor basketball player Caleb Lohner has traded in his high tops for cleats. Lohner has 1 year of college eligibility left, and he decided he wants to see if he can catch passes as a tight end for the Utes. He's big and tall. He can jump. The coaches are anxious to see how his skills translate to the football field.
Wouldn't you like to be in the room when that decision process is going on?
Yeah.
Minnesota Timberwolves center and former Jazzman Rudy Gobert missed last night's playoff game in Denver, and it was for a good reason. He and his girlfriend welcomed their first child, which we're told is a baby boy. The T-Wolves took care of business while Gobert was out, winning the game by over 20 points.
Both games on the road and both against the defending champs, Denver Nuggets. That's impressive stuff. Trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report, if you've ever wanted to be in a movie, now is your time. Kevin Costner is looking for hundreds of extras in his new movie Horizon, an American saga. It's going to be filming down in St. George. They're also looking for people who can handle livestock, have blacksmith skills, or horseback riding experience. And they're paying $150 an hour or more if you have the desired skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Make some money there. 18 French bakers broke the world record for the largest baguette. The team made a 460-foot-long baguette, which was then smothered in Nutella and given out to attendees at the showing.
Therapy dogs are taking over courtrooms in Salt Lake City to help soothe adults and children in stressful situations. The dogs are Intermountain Therapy animals. The department was founded 30 years ago. They visit 170 facilities in Utah and Montana, and there are now 5 Salt Lake Juvenile Court judges who regularly have the dogs in their courtrooms.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
KSL News Time now is 7:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
the city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho won't be filing charges against an 18-year-old man they say yelled slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, all of the police departments in Utah County are now helping the Santaquin Police Department fill its shifts while their officers grieve the death of Sergeant Bill Hoosier.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
There's this band of weather that's just ruining traffic on West Davis, on I-15, and Highway 89, right in the Kaysville, Fruit Heights, Farmington area. So it doesn't matter which of those roads you're on, you're going to really struggle going south right now. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Our last day of wet weather, then a warm-up. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
If you're just joining us, we learned who's going to be on the witness stand today in the trial against former President Donald Trump. Let's go to ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Stormy Daniels, the adult actress at the center of former President Trump's criminal hush money trial, is expected to testify today, says ABC's Aaron Katersky outside the courthouse.
Prosecutors say her claim of a tryst with former President Trump, which he has long denied occurred, was the motivating factor for him to falsify business records, as he's accused of doing here. Prosecutors say he falsified those records to keep her claim away from voters. The Access Hollywood tape had just come out in 2016, and prosecutors say Trump's campaign couldn't take another sex scandal.
In the Middle East, fears of a drop in aid to Gaza as Israel's military rolled into the city of Rafah and shut the border crossing. ABC's Jordana Miller has the latest from Jerusalem.
Israeli troops and tanks rolling into southeast Gaza, seizing control of the Palestinian side of the Rafah border crossing. That's the main entry point for humanitarian aid from Egyptian soil. The IDF takeover coming a day after Hamas staged a deadly attack on Israeli soldiers near the crossing, and just hours after 100,000 Gazans were called on to evacuate the area.
The military action could also be a negotiating ploy as ceasefire talks continue in Egypt. In the U.S., Pro-Palestinian demonstrations continue across college campuses. This one at the University of Chicago. In northwest Oklahoma and other areas hit hard by severe weather, it's cleanup time. The weather blamed for one death in Oklahoma. 16 tornadoes were reported across 6 states, including one in Smithville, Tennessee.
It was like a whistle from the tornado. It sounded like a whistle to me. And then there was just like loud noises everywhere.
And today in Russia, the inauguration of Vladimir Putin for a 5th term as president. You're listening to ABC News.
Alzheimer's disease is being put in the spotlight here in the state. KSL News Radio's Emma Keddington has more.
The Alzheimer's Foundation of America is hosting a free caregiving and educational conference Wednesday, May 15th in West Valley. The conference will host experts in the Alzheimer's and dementia research field and will allow people to learn all about new treatments and caregiving advice for those supporting loved ones with the disease. One of these experts is the University of Utah's Dr. Donna Cross, who's a part of an effort to repurpose a cancer drug to treat Alzheimer's. Emma Keddington, KSL News Radio.
Utah is one of 10 states getting millions of dollars to help with water supplies. The U.S. Bureau of Reclamation says the money will help fund 42 projects in 10 states. $6.6 million will go to the Ute Tribe Water Systems. It provides water for 3,000 members of the community.
And look at this. Pelicans are returning to Hat Island in the Great Salt Lake.
The Pelicans have not nested on Hat Island since 1943. Program manager for the Great Salt Lake Ecosystem Program, John Luft, says the Pelicans are possibly returning to Hat Island because they are scared of predators.
Some coyotes accessing the island, Gunnison Island last year. And so we've had quite a few birds out on Hat Island.
For birdwatchers, Luft says pelicans are some of the largest and unique birds at the lake.
You can see kind of these pelican whirlwinds, if you will, when they're catching thermals.
Josue Sanchez, KSL News Radio.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just stop and think about how lucky we are that we have the wildlife viewing opportunities we do. Farmington Bay with, all of the birds that pass through here on a regular basis, but it's nice to have the pelicans nesting again. By the way, he will join us on the outdoor show coming up Saturday morning. We'll talk more about it more in depth at 7:05 on Saturday.
7:19 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, right now we've got issues on the west side, including a crash on 5600 West at the 21st South Freeway. It's a car that got smashed up pretty bad, blocking the right lane. Fortunately for drivers in West Valley, it's not that big of a delay. There's actually more delay on Mountain View going up to 3500 South. And then we've got a bunch of problems at the interchange between I-215 and I-80. Southbound, the ramp to westbound 80 from Davis County towards the airport has been closed all morning. And now we've got a ramp closure from eastbound 80 to north 215 because a semi has rolled into the dirt there. Len?
Well, Andy, that swampy drive continues on the roads in Kaysville and Farmington. Southbound I-15, the slowest. Several earlier crashes here are gone, but 3 slide-offs on the West Davis corridor between Kaysville and Farmington. Wet and slow on US 89 with a crash southbound US 89 at Nichols Road in Fruit Heights on the right shoulder. Eric?
Started off pretty rough on I-80 through the mountains this morning. It is getting better. You still have some slowing eastbound, westbound up over the top of Partly Summit. You still got wet roads to contend with. Down Utah County, I-15 northbound from Provo to Lehigh. That is in pretty decent shape. Celebrate spring in a clean home. Call Zero Res and get one room clean starting at just $25 with a 4-room minimum. Visit ZeroRes.com and book your appointment today. Zero Res. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We've got a high of only 50 degrees today. Rain, snow showers possible, but widely scattered. 51, mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Thursday, 64. Breezy out of the east, partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny, 69 by Friday. Weekends shaping up to be quite nice. 73 on Saturday and Sunday, 77. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now in Salt Lake City, it is 43 degrees. And this hour of Utah's Morning News, my whole computer just died on me here.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. While you boot that up, I will tell folks.
Both screens went dark on me there for a second.
We can, we do appreciate your texts every morning, especially on a day like today, letting us know about some serious traffic issues and about they had hail this morning. Where was that, up in Layton? So you can text us with a Weather Watcher update anytime at 57500, as long as it's safe for you to do so. But I wanted to encourage you to text the word news to 57500, because whenever there's a major issue, a breaking news story of importance, I mean, we don't send this all the time, but if the freeway's closed or if something happens that you need to know about, we'll text it right to your phone. That's 57500. Just text the word news.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
I think everybody's experienced that at the office
sure.
when you're in the middle of a project or something and poof, things are gone. We'll check money news coming up next.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Who Lives is a nonprofit organization with a goal described by the acronym WHO, providing clean water, better health, and economic opportunities to all people while prioritizing sustainability and self-reliance. Founder and executive director John Runard joins us with more.
So in 2010, I was on vacation in Africa when I saw these young girls missing school because they were forced to walk miles to fetch water for their families. I knew I had to do something. So I created the nonprofit Who Lives. For 10 months, I worked with local engineering students to create a human-powered water drill. Our village drill has now completed nearly 15,000 wells worldwide, empowering over 14 million people. Today, Who Lives is excited about our newest innovation, the Village Drill Hybrid, an electric drill that's even stronger and drills faster. But we now have way more requests for water than we have funds. So Who Lives is looking for businesses and even individuals to join with us to make a difference. So please consider making a donation or join us in Africa for an epic experience and safari. Again, we would love for you to get involved with our mission. Just visit us at wholives.org. That's wholives.org.
Just last year, Who Lives was honored with the Hunger and Poverty Award at the .org Impact Award ceremony for their innovative community solutions. Learn more or donate to support their cause at their website. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
At Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital, we made a bold promise to build the nation's model health system for children. Join us in realizing our vision for the future of pediatric care. So together, we can expand primary children's impact and ensure every child has access to the right care at the right place at the right time. For a century, Primary Children's has kept the child first and always. Help us continue to do so for the next 100 years. To get involved, visit primarypromise.org.
At 34, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I finished up my treatments. I truly feel like every day is a gift. I really want to give back, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to help with this study.
Heredogene is an extraordinarily innovative research study wherein we are looking at the genes of hundreds of thousands of participants.
The more information that we have, the more we can help others.
You can help at heredogene.org.
Helping people live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Healthcare, healing for life.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Do you remember the $80 billion that Congress set aside for the IRS to hire more folks to conduct audits? Yeah, that's kicking in. Now, they've pinky promised that that's not going to affect the normal people like us, only the super rich. I'll tell you the story of how they tried that once before, and it completely failed. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans are expected to spend $33.5 billion on Mother's Day this year. The National Retail Federation says it's the second highest amount in history. The most popular gift is flowers.
The parent company of drugstore cosmetic brands CoverGirl and, is it Rimmel?
Where are
Rimmel,
you? I'm just looking.
Anyway, the parent.
I've never heard of that.
Parent company Coty posted better than expected earnings. Sales are up 8% year over year as the beauty market grows and changes.
Shows you what I know. KSL Drive's electric trucks are not doing as well as expected. Nikola posted earnings of $7.5 million. That's $8 million less than Wall Street predicted. The hydrogen fuel cell trucks only delivered 75 trucks in the last 2 quarters. Well, you can't make money with that.
I have never understood trucks, you buy trucks to haul things, right? And to go off the grid so you can go camping and things. An electric
a lot of people drive trucks just because it's their favorite thing.
I don't know. I bought my truck so I could pull a trailer and go camping somewhere, which scares me a little bit with an electric vehicle. The Dow Jones futures just ahead of the bell are up, but only slightly. It's up 52 points. The S&P is up 7. The Nasdaq's still down by about 2.5 points.
We've got some slow spots in the valley, I-15 and the West Davis Highway heading south from Kaysville. Let's check that and the rest of your commute just ahead.
Well, there's a couple of great shows right now, productions at Hale Center Theater. One just had its premiere last night. It's opening night.
Yeah, we're seeing it this weekend. It's The Time Machine.
Yeah, and I'm taking two of my kids to go see it on Friday night. You're going to go on Saturday night.
I don't know anything about the show. I'm really excited.
I don't either, but that's where I find some of the best surprises,
you
know. I love when they do the classics, obviously, but I also love when you have no clue on what it might be.
You walk in with a clean slate, so this is going to be new.
And The Time Machine, by the way, is a world premiere.
And the one that's on center stage, May We All, a country musical. So I would call myself, I'm not a huge country fan, but I like country music.
Mm-hmm.
I knew so many of these songs. Some of them were from, my childhood, like Jolene and all those. I know these songs, but the reason why I loved May We All is that it had this small town feel that reminded me of where I grew up.
Yeah. And how those small towns struggle to survive in an ever-developing world and how they reinvent themselves. It really is the big part of the story. But they tell the story through the lyrics of all these songs that you're familiar with. It's a lot of fun.
And there's a live band on stage.
Toe-tapping fun tonight, 801-984-9000, or you can get your tickets by simply going online to hct.org.
We're in for a wild ride.
It's almost like another dose of winter.
It's May in Utah.
Scattered thunderstorms, valley rain, mountain snow, highs in the 50s.
Get a reliable KSL forecast every 10 minutes on the 9s, mornings and afternoons, so you're ready for whatever happens. We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Time again for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Well, Tim, we still have that crash northbound 5600 West just before the 21st South Freeway. It's blocking the right lane before you go over the overpass, so looks like you can still access the 201 on-ramp without much problem. It's just if you're going to cross over, that'll be an issue. Still have a lot going on at the I-80-215 West Side Belt Route, where we have a truck that rolled on the ramp from eastbound 80 to north 215, and we still have the closure of the ramp from south 215 to go to west 80. That was been in place all morning. Len?
We're still looking at a couple of accidents. I thought I cleared. There's one at Park Lane that is still hanging in there. This is I'm looking at one on US 89 here. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. It's US 89. So the one on Park Lane has cleared. US 89. That is at the I-15 junction in Farmington with US 89 on the left shoulder. The Park Lane one is gone, but you still have a very wet drive between Kaysville and Farmington. So stay alert on that. Eric?
We got good movement on I-15 Utah County northbound from Santaquin to Point of the Mountain. That's a 30-minute drive. Further up the line, you've got some slowdowns in Salt Lake County, Bluffdale up to the Bangerter exit and at the South Interchange, but not a bad drive this morning, at least so far, going to downtown. Get Mom the best Mother's Day gift ever, a Minky Couture blanket. Save 50% using promo code KSL50 in stores and online at minkycouture.com. The best Mother's Day gift ever. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
So it looks like most of the rain and snow might be done with us, although I hate to say that because just when I do, it'll start raining again. We do have a chance of rain today and tomorrow, but it lessens as we move into tomorrow. Today's high will be 50, 51 tomorrow. We're back in the 60s on Thursday, back in the upper 70s on the weekend. Right now, it's 39 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time now, 7:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
This storm hitting the state has already left behind an impressive amount of water, and we could pick up even more today.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is tracking the storm and joins us live. Adam?
Amanda, it's crazy to think that we're in May and it just will not stop raining. I'm even getting a mix of, even looks like a couple of snowflakes or two here in the Salt Lake Valley on my windshield with this rain. In terms of what we've seen in the valleys, it's been impressive, but in the mountains, get this, Alta has already clocked more than 25 inches of snow. Snowbird 21, Solitude 16, Miller Park east of Bountiful even got a foot. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says here in the valleys,
most valley locations did see an inch or two of snow, but it was the water that was impressive, anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches.
Matt says he thinks that we could add up to another 1/4 of an inch of water in the valleys today, mainly between here in downtown and Juab County. Matt says the mountains could pick up another 5 to 10 inches of snow. The storm is going to start breaking up today. Temperatures expected to gradually start rising back up this weekend. Dare I say, might feel like spring again. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
That rain, by the way, picking up again now in downtown Salt Lake City. Meantime, UDOT was hoping to start clearing Guardsman Pass this morning, but we'll see if that happens with all the snow falling in the mountains right now. UDOT says it takes over 200 workers to clear the deep, dense snow from the pass. There's no set date yet for the road to open.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox is fighting against a Pentagon proposal to move Air National Guard units into the Space Force. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston explains. Peter?
Amanda, the way it works right now is that the military needs to get governor's approval before they move National Guard units to any branch of the military. But Governor Spencer Cox is signing a letter with 52 other state and territorial governors to stop a rule that would bypass that. Colorado Governor Jared Polis.
Because it would decrease our readiness in the space domain and lose over 80% of the Space National Guard units who would not transfer over.
Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall says the effect on states would actually be negligible, but Governor Cox disagrees.
If it truly is negligible, then they should have no problem dropping it and working with governors to find a better way forward.
Military.com reports 1,000 units from New York to Alaska could be affected. Reporting live from Salt Lake City, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Another group of universities announced they're canceling or modifying their graduation plans due to war protests.
At Columbia University, even though the lawn is cleared, the university-wide graduation is canceled. The university is saying they will focus on smaller ceremonies by school. Police do have authorization to be on campus through those graduation festivities.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos says protesters at MIT have returned to an encampment that was previously cleared out by police.
An American soldier is being detained in Russia.
He was stationed in South Korea, and he was in the process of returning to Fort Cavazos in Texas when he took some of his leave time where he's supposed to be focused on relocating, and instead he went to Russia. Now, I want to say he did not have permission to travel to Russia. The State Department says it's dangerous. They even go so far as to say all Americans in Russia should leave, that they are not safe there. He went anyway, where he was arrested on charges of stealing.
ABC's Ann Flaherty says the soldier's relatives say Army Staff Sergeant Gordon Black may have been visiting a woman he was dating.
Senator Bernie Sanders is 82 years old, but that isn't stopping him from running for another 6-year term. Sanders says he's running in part because he doesn't like the direction President Biden is leading the Democratic Party.
The percentage of Utah's young voters who made their voices heard in 2022 is much lower than many other states. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson explains.
The U.S. Census Bureau is releasing stats that show 18 to 29-year-olds make up more than 1/4 of Utah's voters, but only about 12% voted in the midterm election.
Nationally, more and more young people are voting. They're voting at higher rates at this young age than previous generations. But in Utah, we see this huge gap between those who are of age and those who are voting.
Morgan Lyon-Cotty, Associate Director for the University of Utah's Hinckley Institute of Politics, says it's likely because Utah has more young people serving their missions. She also says it's unclear what this means for the upcoming election and whether young voters will be motivated or turned off by the current state of affairs. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
Let's get that first look traffic now with Andy's help.
We got a lot of different issues right now, Tim. In fact, I've been watching I-15 in Davis County. We still got the big struggles going in between Kaysville and Farmington. More southbound than northbound, but West Davis corridor also backed up in that stretch coming out of Kaysville. Highway 89 struggling. There was a crash on the northbound exit at 89. They got that cleared up, but it's super slushy on those overpasses. And it's kind of a nightmare between I-80 and I-215's west belt. Eastbound, there's a semi that rolled, and for traffic on South 215, that ramp to westbound 80's been closed all morning. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day, a day set aside to help make people aware of the dangers of this synthetic opioid.
A release from the United States Attorney for the District of Utah says every day more than 150 people in the U.S. die from synthetic opioid overdoses. Emergency room physician Dr. Jennifer Plum explains what to look for in an opioid overdose.
The way you tell that is, first of all, they're out cold, they're not responding to you, and then when you pop their eyes open and you look at their pupil, it's a tiny, tiny little fleck of pepper. And so little black dot in my eye.
Dr. Plum is the co-founder of Utah Naloxone. She says many of those overdose deaths could be prevented if the patient is quickly given naloxone. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
The FAA has launched a new investigation into Boeing, looking to see if maintenance crews were completing required inspections. The investigation centered around the 787 Dreamliner and parts that actually attach the wings to the fuselage.
The launch of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft last night was called off because of some possible problems with a valve. Engineers are this morning taking a look at the valve to decide if they can restart the countdown to launch.
Local animal shelters working to meet the goal of making Utah a no-kill shelter state this year.
The Uinta County Animal Shelter was challenged by Best Friends Animal Sanctuary to increase their adoption rate. The challenge ended this weekend, but it was so successful that it has been extended for at least another week. The shelter's Riley Olson says Best Friends is a great partner.
They are covering the whole adoption fee, so technically the animals are free.
Olson says there are many dogs available, especially puppies, which is odd because they usually have adult dogs. 23 animals found new homes in April, which was a much higher number of adoptions than usual. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
We have problems on the ramps near the airport this morning, including a crash involving a semi to go north on the 215 West Belt. More on that and the rest of your commute just ahead.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Debbie is the voice of reason, and Dave reminds me of my little brother. Well-spoken, and they're a great team together.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
Everyone's house is different, but they're all the same in one way. We've all got those places where the Wi-Fi just won't go. For you, maybe it's the attic. For me, it's my basement. Well, if you had wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you could worry less about these dead spots. Finally. With wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you get fast speeds throughout your home, reliable connection in every room, and power for all of your devices, even when everyone is online. That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now through June 21st, new customers can get started with gig speed internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com. Call 1-800-XFINITY. That's 1-800-XFINITY. Or visit a store today.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. I want to tell you about our famous "You Don't Need a Warranty" warranty. That's right. It's a warranty you don't need, but we give it to you anyway. Let me explain. Most warranty problems for siding, gutters, and windows are caused by not installing stuff right in the first place. If you rush the work, cut corners, or use subpar materials, you're just begging for problems later. At RGS Exteriors, we don't tolerate careless workmanship. We slow down, focus on every detail, and use only the best materials. We prevent warranty work by doing the job right in the first place. That's why the 10-year everything guarantee we give you is also known as our "You Don't Need a Warranty" warranty. We absolutely will be there if you need to use it. But honestly, you probably will never have to. Done right the first time. That's the RGS way. For siding, gutters, and windows, call 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsexteriors.com.
If you're just joining us this morning, we're tracking the latest round of precipitation today. Some impressive totals. Over 2 inches of rain in some places along the Wasatch Front and 2 feet of snow in the mountains.
No wonder we have standing water in different places.
Yeah.
Let's check traffic. 7:39. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Slowdowns increasing in the valley. I-15 point of the mountain to Bangerter, and then heavy traffic much of the way from Sandy into downtown Salt Lake City. A lot of delays on the ramps from I-80 to 215, in part because the ramp from East 80 to North 215 closed from a semi that rolled. So a lot of people are on Redwood exit off of I-80. A lot of people are getting forced onto South 215 and heading down towards California Avenue. So that's just a big nightmare. Plus, South 215 is backed up from 700 North to the I-80 turn because that ramp has been closed all morning. Len?
In Davis and Weber counties, very wet from Farmington to Kaysville. Slow driving and slush on the sides and in the middle there. Southbound from Kaysville to Centerville, as well as on the US 89 from Lagoon to Fruit Heights, and a new crash. Northbound US 89 at Main Street on the right shoulder. Previous slide-offs on the West Davis corridor, also between Kaysville and Farmington. Eric? Heading out to the mountains now, not a problem. It was a major problem earlier with snow falling at the top of Partly Summit and major restrictions and slowdowns getting out there. Now it's not a problem going to the Kimball Junction exit. If you're getting into Park City from US 40, we do have some westbound slowdowns on Kearns Boulevard. Down Utah County, usual slow spots, northbound Redwood Road approaching 2100 North and Mountain View Corridor approaching that same intersection before it turns into 2100 North. Rekindle adventure in a place everyone connects with nature. Cedar City Bryan Head. Shopping, dining, museums, spring skiing, tubing, hiking, biking, disc golf, and much more. Level up your adventure. Visit cedarcity.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A band of rain-snow showers this morning will give way to scattered rain-snow showers, high of 50 and a little breezy. Overnight, chilly 35 with a slight chance for a shower. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
It's really coming down in Salt Lake City right now, 39 degrees.
Is it a crime to yell a racist slur out of your car window toward, in this instance, the University of Utah basketball team?
Evidently not.
Evidently not. But we're going to learn more about that when we talk to our legal analyst, Greg Skordas, coming up next.
Jeff Kaplan's here right now with his Minute of News, and it's brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
In the 1800s, you know how people got to sleep at night? In the dim, flickering light of candles, they exhaled. Blow out the candle. It's dark. They went to sleep. No white noise apps, no hypnosis, no nonsense. The day was hard. The night was welcome. But fast forward, and overstimulated Americans will do almost anything to slip off to la-la land for a few hours. Pills, herbs, apps. There's an entire universe of slumber hacks on TikTok, and the most interesting of them, and by that I mean the most uninteresting, are recordings of boring people whose voices literally put you to sleep. The Wall Street Journal has written a roundup of these snooze fests, so allow me to bore you first with a 5-hour loop of the BBC shipping forecast.
1015 rising more slowly. Aberdeen. Southwest by west.
For those who fall asleep best to a soothing voice, this meaningless weather forecast from a faraway place is just the ticket. Now, for those who remember hiding under the covers as a kid listening to a baseball game on a crackly radio, a guy in Chicago is producing a baseball play-by-play podcast.
Runners on the corners now. One away for Giovanni Gasparo.
The horrible sound quality is intentional. It's like an old crackly radio. The teams are made up, the games are fake and boring, but it's soothing to some people, as is a guy in Pleasant Grove who was once told he had a boring voice. So when he was laid off, Benjamin Boster began the I Can't Sleep podcast. He reads Wikipedia pages about boring subjects like ATM machines,
funds transfers, balance inquiries, or account information inquiries.
Still awake? This 43-year-old Pleasant Grove boring guy has 10 million downloads, and he now supports his family as a living, breathing dose of melatonin.
Including
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox. IRS harassing you? Let the law offices of Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. My name is Jim. So I went through a difficult time with a divorce. Then the economy crashed. I was out of work. Combination of the way that my ex-wife was filing the tax returns caused mine to get rejected, and I found myself in a difficult situation that I didn't know how to get out of. Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone. I could not believe that it was even possible. I had hoped for something, never dreamt in my wildest dreams he would get what he got. You need someone to fight for you. We owed $80,300 and something, and I paid $1,000. Visit taxhelput.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit taxhelput.com. It was incredible. Do yourself a favor. Call Jordan Wilcox. That's taxhelput.com.
Monster winds can cause huge damage to your roof that you can't see. Don't wait for a disaster. Go to the Masters at masterroofingutah.com to schedule your free windstorm assessment today.
KSL News Time, 7:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Governor Spencer Cox is leading a protest against a proposal that would let the Pentagon move National Guard units to the Space Force without governor's approval. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, young adults in Utah are voting in lower numbers than many other states.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Backups continue to be an issue. I-80 and 215's west side near the airport because of crashes and ramp closures. North 15 struggling in Draper and in Murray and South Salt Lake. And then a bunch of backups going south, Kaysville, Farmington, down into Centerville because of the weather conditions. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
50s with showers today, then we're warming and drying. I'm Matt Johnson.
We've got rain and 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Time now for a look at our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Adult film actress Stormy Daniels is expected to testify today at former President Trump's criminal hush money trial. Prosecutors say the reason Trump falsified business records was to cover payments made to Daniels, who says she had a relationship with Trump, which he denies. Entering court this morning, the former president said his records were not falsified.
We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense.
President Biden will speak today at the Holocaust Museum's Days of Remembrance ceremony. The White House, as part of his speech, will condemn the atrocities of October 7th. Israel's response to that attack continues. The military shut the border crossing into Rafah, leading to worries about a drop-off in humanitarian aid. This happening at the same time as ceasefire talks continue in Egypt. This is ABC News.
Prosecutors in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, have decided not to press charges against a young man accused of yelling racist slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team back in March.
Joining us live on what may have led up to that decision is KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas. So how did they make that decision, Greg?
You know, it's interesting, Amanda, because I think that some people were surprised by the decision, but the prosecutors there had to look at the state law as it related to disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, and weigh that against the individual's First Amendment right to free speech, and made the conclusion that they couldn't sustain a criminal prosecution under Idaho law for what is unfortunately protected speech, or fortunately, depending on how you define it. But I think a lot of people were surprised by that, and I'm not sure that we would have had the same result in Utah. A lot of us did feel like that was a hate crime and should have been prosecuted, but the authorities there made that decision, and they know the law better than I do, so I can't, second guess them.
Well, sorry to ask a dumb question here, Greg, but I'm pretty good at it. If they knew the law ahead of time and they knew there were no other actions against the University of Utah women's team, why even go through this effort to find somebody?
You know, that's a great question. I think part of that, Tim, is just to find the individual, to maybe get his attention. And his name has been released. I would hope that there would be some people that would be able to talk to him about that. He's 18 years old, just a kid. Maybe that weighed into the decision as well. And maybe thought his comments were being funny or cute, but, maybe just the whole investigation, making sure that people know that conduct will at least be investigated, not necessarily tolerated, and that people who make those comments are going to be looked for and sought after and questioned.
So,
I think that the authorities at least did that part.
At what point, Greg, would making a racial slur become actionable? If I'm up in the person's face, then could they charge me with something?
Yeah, I think if you do that, then you could consider it almost like an assault, where you're getting in a person's face where they could feel threatened. If there was another act that occurred, like, for example, flashing a firearm or making gestures like with your body as though you were, physically threatening to them, you could maybe make that into a crime. Yes, that's a good point.
But again, the Idaho law different than the Utah law, evidently.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, though, Tim, because just following the Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow trial and following Idaho laws, I was surprised how closely they paralleled Utah laws, and I would have expected the same here with respect to like a disorderly conduct or disturbing the peace type of law that I think could have fit this conduct had it occurred in Utah.
Fascinating as always, Greg. Thank you. That's Greg Skordas, our KSL legal analyst on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
Mother Nature affecting the drive this morning. It's time for a look at traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy?
Yeah, we got all kinds of problems. The biggest emergency traffic in the valley is the closures of ramps from eastbound 80 to go to from south 215 to westbound 80 and from eastbound 80 to north 215 because we've got rollover crashes and wet conditions. It's a big headache. A lot of people are trying to exit at Redwood Road. Because that's really their only option as they wanted to go south on 215. We've also got slowing on I-15 itself between Point of the Mountain and Draper, and then from Sandy all the way to South Salt Lake. Len?
Well, it continues to be slushy and wet in Davis County. It's a slow ride southbound 15 Kaysville to Centerville, as well as US 89 in either direction from the Lagoon to Fruit Heights. And we've got a crash northbound US 89 at Main Street in Davis County on the right shoulder. Also, previous slide-offs on the West Davis corridor and slow traffic southbound in here. And now, the southbound 15 slowing on I-15 continues from Farmington to Rose Park, where it slows even more on the way onto the downtown Salt Lake ramps. Eric?
Here's some more slowdown spots to avoid if you can. Foothill Drive from I-80 up towards the University of Utah campus. Bangerter Highway from Taylorsville, 54 south up to the 201. And the 201 highway coming out of Magna, heading over to the 215 westbound. Down Utah County, you've got eastbound slowing Pioneer Crossing and 2100 north from Redwood Road over to the freeway. Save $70 instantly on Cooper Tires now through May 12th at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires. Plus, come in for all your service needs. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Let's get a look now at that 7-day forecast, which is brought to you by Performance Automotive. Bountiful, what about this, Matt?
All right, still dealing with the rain out there. We'll probably see it break up in midday. But by afternoon, I think we'll see a couple of pop-up rain, snow showers. And breezy today. It'll feel chilly, high of only 50. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, 51. And then Thursday and Friday going breezy with a chance to see some East Canyon winds. Temperatures in the 60s there. Mother's Day weekend, Saturday, 73 mostly sunny, 77 mostly sunny on Mother's Day itself. Monday next week, 79 degrees, and we forget about the snow.
That's crazy. We had hail and lightning even reported up in Layton a little while ago.
Oh, my.
Yeah, crazy. Right now in Salt Lake City, it's raining again and 43 degrees.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. It's an important time of year. A very special event is coming up, and you do not want to be found wanting on Mother's Day. Think of all the wonderful things those special women in your life do for you. It's time for you to take her to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And of course, there are two choices. There's Hotel Park City, and there's downtown Salt Lake City at 275 Southwest Temple. Mother's Day at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is something extra special, so make sure you have your reservations now. And of course, a gift card is an ideal way to show your appreciation for dear old mom, that special lady in your life, on Mother's Day. And let's talk about the food for just a moment. Oh, my goodness, the steaks are incredible. The fish is remarkable, and other dishes as well. The desserts and so much more. It's waiting for you at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
What does an Olympic venue, Memorial Weekend, music, food, canine athletes, and handlers have in common? The 20th anniversary of the Soldier Hollow Sheepdog Classic presented by Purina Pro Plan. Tickets, visit soldierhollowclassic.com.
Say goodbye to morning traffic.
Good morning. Baby, it's a brand new day.
And hello to Rome, Barcelona, and Santorini. When you sail Europe with Norwegian Cruise Line, you wake up to a new city nearly every day. And we make it easy to get there with free airfare for second guest. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
The rest of my life gonna start today.
People here are raving about QC Kinetics and how regenerative medicine has changed their life. People like Helen, an avid mountain climber who got sidelined when an accident left her knees in constant pain.
I was not able to train or do really anything on my knee.
Helen was told surgery would be her only option. But then she found QC Kinetics and was treated with natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later, she was climbing the highest mountain in North America.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain. I began treatment in March, and I summited Denali June the 7th. It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Get your life back with lasting results. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 385-766-1987. That's 385-766-1987. 385-766-1987.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Do you remember the $80 billion that Congress set aside for the IRS to hire more folks to conduct audits? Yeah, that's kicking in. Now, they've pinky promised that that's not going to affect the normal people like us, only the super rich. I'll tell you the story of how they tried that once before, and it completely failed. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Markets all in the green here to start the morning. The Dow is up 90, the S&P is up about 0.2 or 10 points, and the NASDAQ is up 3.
You know, there are so many things that you can't control. We can't control the weather. We can't control whether it rains or even snows. I mean, we can't control the traffic. We can't, if you get stuck in traffic, you can't control that. I used to think my weight was one of those things. I can't control my weight. I'm over menopause. I don't know, that's too much information, but I can't control. And then I met SOTA Weight Loss. I went online to SOTAweightloss.com. I met a nutritionist. And I basically got an education about food. I'm learning about food in my late 50s.
Yeah.
But it changed my life. I lost 34 pounds, and I've kept it off for 2 years.
Well, when you say I can't control it, I mean, you'd lost weight before, just like my daughter had. It's keeping it off is the problem long term, but it is not a problem because this is not a diet. They do re-educate you on it, and you never feel like you're alone because you're not. You've got a nutritionist there that has known you every step of your SOTA journey, and so they know where you've had pitfalls, and they can help you get right back on track. They can help somebody in your family, too. Just go to SOTAweightloss.com. It is spelled SOTA, and it stands for State of the
Art.
Put the equity in your home to work with a home equity line of credit and get 6.49% APR for the first 6 months. Learn more at cypresscu.com.
Introducing Peach Doors and Windows. Are you ready to upgrade your home with stunning new doors but are overwhelmed with how to begin? Peach Doors is here to make the entire process smooth and stress-free. Visit their showroom to see their wide selection of wood doors, durable fiberglass, energy-efficient aluminum, oversized glass bifold doors, and so much more. It's not just about looks, it's about durability and security to protect what matters most. Let them help you find the perfect match for your home, budget, and personal style. Visit their showroom and see for yourself. No pushy sales tactics, only guidance from their experienced staff. No inflated markups just to offer so-called discounts. See their 5-star reviews where customers rate them on their attention to detail through every step of the sale and installation process. Amazing home transformations begin with windows and doors. Serving Logan to St. George, just Google Peach Building to see for yourself.
7:59, that sounds like emergency traffic, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
It's just pretty rough shape everywhere this morning, Amanda, including I-15 backups between Point of the Mountain and Draper, Midvale all the way up into South Salt Lake, 215's west side belt route. All traffic eastbound's being forced onto South 215 if you're trying to make that transition because the ramp to northbound's closed by a truck that rolled into the dirt. And then southbound traffic's been backed up from Davis County heading south to I-80 because the ramp to westbound 80, which most people from Davis County would take to the airport, that's closed, which means you got to go down to California Avenue, turn around. It's just a whole headache. Len?
Well, it's still got wet and slushy conditions in parts of Davis County. It's a slow ride southbound at 15 Kaysville to Centerville and now continuing all the way into the Salt Lake City area. We also have some slowing northbound US 89 with a crash there at Main Street. That is on the right shoulder. And otherwise, you're looking at that north end of the I-215 as it's slowed down to those ramp closures as you make your way southbound, on the north interchange on 215. Eric?
Bit of brake tapping northbound I-15 in Linden. Further up the line, slowing from Timpanogos Highway into Salt Lake County. You don't get clear of that, really, to get to 90th South, and that's only temporary before you're back in slowdowns again. Discover the power of hands-on learning at Tooele Technical College. With affordable, flexible, and achievable technical education, your future begins here. Apply today at TooeleTech.edu. That's TooeleTech.edu. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
So we will look for a high today of 50 and raining again in downtown Salt Lake City this hour, 41 degrees.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
We are hearing more firsthand accounts this morning about the many lives impacted by fallen Santaquin police officer Sergeant Bill Hoosier.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live and begins our team coverage in the line of duty. Adam?
Amanda, Sergeant Hoosier taught a group of high school kids in the Nebo School District's Citizens Academy internship program. Now, the student we're hearing from says Hoosier taught them about the complexities of police work, but also gave them some real-world exposure, getting them time with the K-9 team and taking them to the emergency dispatch center and the county jail. The student says he was really the one that really kept this going, gave them all their assignments. And the student says those 2 hours a week were always the best. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Spencer Peterson says that Sergeant Hoosier's impact has made him want to pursue a career in law enforcement.
He was a really good role model for me. He was the perfect example of what a sergeant should be like.
He says one of the things that stuck out the most to him from everything Hoosier said was when he say, you have to stand up for what you know is right.
We're also hearing from people in Mona in Utah County who were shocked by the massive police force that came into town searching for the man accused of killing Sergeant Hoosier. Andy Rosequist tells KSL TV he watched it all unfold from a convenience store.
It was very scary. 20 police cars, and there was also SWAT.
He says their small town never sees a police presence like that.
All of the police departments in Utah County are now helping the Santaquin Police Department fill in shifts while their officers grieve. The Utah County Sheriff's Office is helping organize that effort, and they say they've got just about every shift covered through tomorrow.
We are still waiting to find out when funeral services will be held for Sergeant Bill Hoosier. We will be sure to let you know as soon as we get those details, and we'll post all that information on KSLNewsRadio.com.
In other news this morning, new testimony in the Chad Daybell trial focuses on Daybell's description of Lori Vallow's kids. Here's KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe.
Lori Vallow's niece says she got close to both Lori and Chad in 2019, and when she moved to Rexburg, she received several different stories about where the two children, JJ and Tylee, were. She says Chad rated the two children as dark, and he would say that some people would become zombies if darkness overtook them.
An FBI agent also testified yesterday on finding JJ's remains.
The city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, has made a decision about what to do with the man they believe yelled racist and misogynist slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live with details. Peter?
Amanda, Coeur d'Alene will not be prosecuting the 18-year-old they say was behind the racist and misogynist slurs that he leveled at the University of Utah's women's basketball team. Now, the Lady Utes got back here to the University of Utah campus in March with trauma and fear, and Coach Lynn Roberts said in March that this was not just harassment, but instead
some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us.
However, Coeur d'Alene Deputy City Attorney Ryan Hunter says he lacks sufficient evidence to back up charges he was considering. The city's mayor says he's disappointed that there's no path forward to hold those responsible accountable, according to the Spokane Spokesman Review. Reporting live from the University of Utah campus, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. We have some developments in the Israel-Hamas war this morning, where Israel has launched a ground operation into Rafah.
Videos show Israeli flags now flying on the Palestinian side of the border. This as Hamas says they are willing to accept a new ceasefire proposal. The deal, a different agreement than one proposed by Israel, includes a permanent end of military operations and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from areas adjacent to the border inside Gaza. Israel now reviewing the plan, but has yet to agree to these terms.
ABC's Marcus Moore reports that Israel says it's already found 3 Hamas operational tunnels at the Rafah crossing, and they are targeting Hamas fighters.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Well, the big issues right now in the Salt Lake Valley still over the I-215 and I-80 interchange on the west side. A ramp closure on the eastbound and northbound side because of a semi that rolled. The southbound was going to be closed all morning anyway, and it's caused plenty of headaches for traffic coming out of Davis County. We've got slowdowns on both I-15 and 215 out of North Salt Lake. Still have backups in Kaysville on West Davis, I-15, and down into Farmington and Legacy. It's just been a really rough drive this morning. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Utah has once again been ranked the best state in America. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with how we got there. Michael?
Tim, our podium spot was given by the U.S. News and World Report, and they point to Utah's economic, education, and infrastructure growth as our biggest strengths. In a word, the thing Utah has going is consistency. That, and many Utahns have a variety of opportunities to succeed. Still, Utah did fall behind in fiscal stability, healthcare, and equality. And now, despite this gap, Utah State Susan Madsen tells the report she has faith and we're moving in the right direction. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Miss USA says she's going to step down to focus on her mental health. Noelia Voigt is from Utah and says representing Utah and the country has been incredibly meaningful, and it was a difficult decision to resign.
The Miss USA organization says it respects Voigt's need to prioritize herself. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if you or anyone you know is struggling, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 988.
ABC's Lina Moise says the Miss USA organization is reviewing plans for crowning a new Miss USA soon.
Alzheimer's disease being put in the spotlight here in the state.
The Alzheimer's Foundation of America is hosting a free caregiving and educational conference Wednesday, May 15th in West Valley. The conference will host experts in the Alzheimer's and dementia research field and will allow people to learn all about new treatments and caregiving advice for those supporting loved ones with the disease. One of these experts is the University of Utah's Dr. Donna Cross, who's a part of an effort to repurpose a cancer drug to treat Alzheimer's. Emma Keddington, KSL News Radio.
The Great Salt Lake's Hat Island is now a nesting location for pelicans after an 81-year absence. Program manager for the Great Salt Lake Ecosystem Program, John Luft, says the pelicans are large and an amazing sight to see.
Recognizable birds here at Great Salt Lake, so a lot of people kind of gravitate towards those just because they're so visible and unique and interesting.
Luft says the pelicans probably left the island because of coyotes disturbing the areas where they nested. The island is still accessible by land, but closed to the public.
Lots of problem spots out there because of wet roads, but particularly if you have to get to the airport to catch a flight, you might want to give yourself some extra time. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
In the line of duty, Santaquin residents are doing everything they can to honor the fallen officer.
We take comfort in the outpouring of support.
His family knows, we are all behind them.
All this week on KSL News Radio.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
You know that feeling? You rake up all that crud in your garden after a long, hard winter, and you give your grungy deck a good pressure wash after a long, hard winter, and then you see your air conditioner out there and think, how do I make sure the AC is okay after a long, hard winter? Whipple that away. Checking your AC in the spring to make sure it's ready for summer is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. To book your $27 AC tune-up, visit whipplethataway.com.
Did you know simple maintenance rejuvenates your asphalt roof for 30 to 50% longer? Don't wait for a disaster. Go to the Masters at masterroofingutah.com to schedule your free assessment today.
Are you tired of losing weight just to see it all come back again? Summer is right around the corner, and you want to look and feel yourself again, but getting back on that frustrating weight loss roller coaster is the last thing you want to do. You've heard about the new drugs, but are concerned with possible side effects. Or you're taking weight loss drugs, but also want to learn how to change your lifestyle for long-lasting results. At Salt Lake City Fat Loss, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies.
The secret to jumpstarting your weight loss is Salt Lake City Fat Loss. I lost 25 pounds in 60 days, and you can too. Drop my name, Maria, now at slcfatloss.com and get $200 off.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days. You can start our program in person or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 801-450-1882 or slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Our In the Line of Duty series will continue this week, and we continue looking at the life of Sergeant Hoosier from Santaquin. And, man, the stories of the people that were inspired by him, including a young man that now wants to pursue a career in law enforcement.
Isn't that something?
Something to share this morning, and we'll continue to follow it as we wait for funeral details to be made. It's 8:09. Let's see how the roads are doing, and it's emergency traffic, so they can't be doing well. This look brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Where are the problems, Andy?
We got a lot of them. Eastbound 80 to North 215 by the airport. A truck rolled on the ramp. That ramp's been closed for a bit, so they're putting all eastbound traffic that tries to go to 215. They're forcing you to go south. So a lot of people are just staying on, trying to get off at Redwood Road and find their way around that way. Unfortunately, that's a huge backup as well. We've also got I-15 delays on the northbound side between Draper and Point of the Mountain, and then again in Midvale. And now we have some southbound delay between 201 and 33rd South on I-15. Len?
Well, Weber County's looking pretty good up by Ogden area. If you're heading into the high country, of course, watch out for mountain roads with a little bit of snow on them. We have slow driving in most of Davis counties. You make your way southbound from pretty much Burton Lane, south of Kaysville, all the way through Farmington, and then down all the way through North Salt Lake and Rose Park into the downtown area. And within that, you've got a crash northbound I-15 at State Street in Farmington on the left shoulder, another one US 89 at Main Street in Davis County on the right shoulder, one eastbound 200 north at I-15, southbound in Davis County in the right lane is closed, and another one southbound I-15 at 700 South in Davis County on the right shoulder. Eric?
Precipitation in Utah County leading to some delays northbound I-15 between the S-curves between Provo and Orem heading up to University Parkway. Another patch between North Orem, 1600 North, and the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. And then further up the line going by Timpanogos Highway, that's where you're going to go get into some more slow patches getting into Salt Lake County. Getting over to the freeway slow also Pioneer Crossing from Saratoga Springs to American Fork. Celebrate spring in a clean home. Call Zero Res and get one room clean starting at just $25 with a 4-room minimum. Visit ZeroRes.com and book your appointment today. Zero Res. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
More than 15 below the normal today with a high of only 50 degrees. By afternoon, we're talking scattered rain, snow showers and breezy out of the northwest, about 10 to 20 miles an hour. 35 overnight with a slight chance for a shower, then mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
39 degrees in Salt Lake City.
So we have a report out this morning that says that Social Security will last a year longer than they warned us about before because more people are working.
Yeah, what is it, 2035, I think.
Yeah, but that number always gets pushed back.
It does. And I noticed the Wall Street Journal this morning was saying, take a deep breath, everybody. Don't
okay.
panic. It's fine.
Right. We're going to talk more about that with Debbie Jujanovic coming up on KSL.
Stay with us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
The sun is out and the temps are up. It's time to seize the day and hit the road. You were born to ride, and now's the time to make your dreams a reality. Imagine the wind in your hair as you cruise on your very own power scooter. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical, and these scooters aren't just for getting around. They're your ticket to freedom. With speeds up to 6 miles per hour, you'll own the road like never before. From graduation to concerts and vacations, our power scooters will get you there in style and ease. Don't wait another minute. The time to ride is now. Let's start your adventure today. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com. That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Are you ready to start your journey as a small business owner? Ready to start something bold? Something groundbreaking? Utah is the startup capital of the world, and we're setting a new global standard for innovation and entrepreneurship. So if you're thinking about starting a new business or looking to grow an existing business, this is where you'll find the resources to make it happen. Visit startup.utah.gov today and start something here.
Say hello to For You Banking from Zions Bank. Customized banking that's all about you and the way you bank. Like credit cards. Experience For You Banking today at a Zions Bank branch or visit zionsbank.com/4u to learn more. Credit card accounts are subject to credit approval. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. See the Consumer Credit Card Agreement and Disclosure Statement for more details. Offers are available for new credit card accounts only and subject to change at any time. A division of Zions Bank Corporation. N.A. member FDIC.
KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a high school student in a law enforcement internship program is speaking out about his instructor. Fallen Santaquin Police Sergeant Bill Hoosier calling him one of the best men he's ever met. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, prosecutors in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho say they will not press charges against a man accused of yelling racist slurs at the University of Utah women's basketball team.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
And we still have huge delays on both I-15 and 215 coming south out of Davis County. It's pretty rough on I-15 and Legacy in between Farmington and Centerville right now. Backups have reappeared on I-80 through Parley's Canyon. We still have ramp closures from East 80 to 215 on the west side. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Our last day of wet weather, then a warm-up. I'm Matt Johnson.
Rain and 41 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The trial against former President Donald Trump back in session, so let's get the latest from ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Another day of former President Trump's criminal trial, and that meant more criticism of the proceedings from the presumptive Republican nominee.
The trial is a very unfair trial. It's a very, very unfair trial. The good news is they have nothing.
But today, testimony expected from Stormy Daniels, the adult actress who claims she had an affair with Trump, which he has long denied. Prosecutors say the business records Trump is charged with falsifying were payments for Daniels' silence. ABC's Erica Tursky has more.
Expect the defense to try and hammer away at Stormy Daniels and her credibility. Remember, she denied having a sexual encounter with Donald Trump before she said she did. And so the defense, I would expect, is going to tell the jury, you can't believe anything. Stormy Daniels has said that her story has been consistent because it's true.
And we will continue to follow developments there. The other story we've kept an eye on this morning is this word that money for Social Security could run out by 2035. But, Debbie, that's a year longer than we thought before.
Well, that's if you combine disability insurance fund with the Social Security fund. So it gives us a little more of a lifeline. But look, at the top of the Social Security Administration's report on this, and I'll read it directly from the report. It says the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund will be able to pay 100% of the total scheduled benefits until 2033. So that's not quite 2035. They're saying 2033. And at that time, there will be funds to pay 79% of benefits. So if you want to look at that in percentage in reverse, that would equate to a 21% monthly pay cut. Most people in Social Security benefits, the average Social Security benefit is about $1,767 a month. I know it varies depending on where you're at with, your Social Security payments and how much you qualify for, but I'm looking at the numbers there. That would equal about a $372 a month cut. Now, there's some options here on the table. This is years out. Sometimes this is an eyeball roll. But I think what Social Security Administration is trying to do here is warn us, like, look, we don't have enough workers in the workplace to pay Social Security payroll taxes to fund all of the people that are going to be counting on it for the years to come. So we have some choices. Maybe we raise taxes. Maybe we raise the retirement age right now. What is it right now? Is it 65?
67. You can take it early at 62, but yeah, full retirement for me is almost 67.
67, and it also that varies depending on what you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just look at cutting benefits. either way, I was raised in a generation where they told us when we were in school, do not count on Social
Right.
Security
So what's
to
new
be
about
around.
Isn't this the same thing they've been telling us for 50 years?
Well, I think I don't know exactly what is new about it, but it seems to me that we need to be in a situation where we're better prepared for Social Security to not be around. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are counting on this to
Yeah, for
retire.
sure.
So I think there needs to be, I think what is new about it, we have to start the conversation about there needs to be a means test. How much have you socked away? What are your investments? Do you really need Social Security, or are you just collecting it because it's been there and you feel you're owed it? So we're going to get into a deep discussion about should there be a means test for Social Security. To some degree, some would say there is right now. I think there needs to be even a broader means test. If you're rich, you can't collect Social Security when you're retired. How's that?
Yeah.
Senator Romney's been sounding the alarm on this
Yeah.
for a long time. This portion of Utah's Morning News brought to you by Revere Health.
We still have emergency traffic. Let's get another look. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back over to you, Andy.
Amanda, slowdowns on I-15 through the valley from Point of the Mountain to downtown should take you about 25 to 30 minutes with the extra travel time at worst and near Bluffdale. And then again, as you cross 215 in Murray, we've had issues with the I-80 215 interchange by the airport all morning. Eastbound to northbound ramp is closed because of a semi that's rolled. They've got a crane on the scene now trying to get it up. And then southbound 215 to go to westbound 80, that's been closed all morning. Completely different reason. That was apparently a planned closure. Len?
Looking at Weber and Davis counties, going a little bit further north than we have been here for a while. We're looking pretty good as you make your way north of Ogden. You're also pretty good in Sardine Canyon, and making your way up to the mountains isn't looking too bad right now on the Trappers Loop. But in Farmington and Kaysville, still have that wet roads and several accidents in there as you make your way. The biggest slowing is southbound from Farmington about Lagoon as you make your way down to Centerville. And then again picks up the slowest slow part again, Woods Cross into the downtown Salt Lake City area. And of course those closures are causing slow driving on I-215 southbound coming off the north interchange toward those closures there at the I-80 intersection. Eric?
And we've had snow in Parley's Canyon this morning. It's still slow at the top of the summit, particularly for eastbounders as you head towards Jeremy Ranch. Down Utah County, very slow now getting over to the freeway from Redwood Road on 2100 North Lehigh's Main Street and Pioneer Crossing on I-15 itself. Patches of slowing in Springville and between Provo and Orem. Get Mom the best Mother's Day gift ever, a Minky Couture blanket. Save 50% using promo code KSL50 in stores and online at minkycouture.com. The best Mother's Day gift ever. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We've got a high of only 50 degrees today. Rain, snow showers possible, but widely scattered. 51, mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Thursday, 64. Breezy out of the east, partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny, 69 by Friday. Weekends shaping up to be quite nice. 73 on Saturday and Sunday, 77. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
41 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I've always appreciated the KSL text service so that if any news is breaking of great importance, the freeway is closed or something, we got the text about the killing of the Santaquin police officer over the weekend. If it's something that you need to know about, we'll send it direct to your phone, and you can get that service. Just text the word news all by itself, NEWS, to 57500.
We're going to look at how the markets are faring in this first full hour of trading when we check money news next.
A partner is someone you can rely on, someone who has your best interest in mind. A partner is there for you during the good and the bad. They listen, understand, and care. Revere Health is dedicated to providing care for your generation and the next. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner for life.
Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning is offering spring air conditioner tune-ups for only $59. Call 385-GET-COOL to schedule today. A Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails from people all the time. Here's one. Dear Dan, I hear your talk about a lifetime service guarantee. Free? Really? Please help me avoid all your fine print and be honest about what free means. You understand that we should be very wary of a free offer. Signed, Skeptical. Hi, Skeptical. I remember 22 years ago when we started PC Laptops and our lifetime service guarantee, People thought it was too good to be true. Well, after a decade, people started believing me a little bit. But it's been 22 years of having the privilege to serve our friends and neighbors like you. Our lifetime service guarantee has become the most trusted warranty in the industry. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop computer, and they start at only $29 a month. Check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Here's to seeing you soon, skeptical.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Stop and smell the flowers at IFA during the IFA Spring Flowers Sale. 3 unique sales in 3 weeks with fresh savings on everything you need to give your garden a head start for summer. Plus discounts on yard tools and equipment, Western apparel, footwear, chicken supplies, and much, much more. Spring has sprung and so have the savings at IFA Spring Flowers Sale starting Monday, April 29th and going on every week through May 19th. Visit your local IFA or shop IFACountryStores.com.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Do you remember the $80 billion that Congress set aside for the IRS to hire more folks to conduct audits? Yeah, that's kicking in. Now, they've pinky promised that that's not going to affect the normal people like us, only the super rich. I'll tell you the story of how they tried that once before, and it completely failed. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. The markets are mixed right now. The Dow's up 122, that's 0.3%. We're at 38,974. S&P's up 7, the Nasdaq's down 13.
We got lots of southbound slowing on both I-15 and the Legacy Parkway from Farmington down to Centerville right now. We'll check that and the rest of the valley with traffic and weather together next.
Hi, this is Doug Wright, and it's showing right now at Hale Center Theater, and it's called May We All. It's a country musical. It's a regional premiere, by the way, and you and your family are absolutely going to love it. It is so much fun, and especially for those who have a little hankering for some great country music, the hits you love, and some songs you've never heard before, you're going to really enjoy. A great tale of a young woman who wants to be a star in country music, and maybe all of the opportunities to become that are waiting for her back home in Tennessee. And by the way, Mother's Day is right around the corner. And the gift that special woman in your life will really appreciate, the gift of theater. And you can buy an individual ticket, you can buy season tickets, you can buy a gift card. Good for anything at Hale Center Theater. The Nutty Professor is yet to come, The Addams Family, The Magician's Elephant, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Great entertainment is always waiting for you at Hale Center Theater.
We had a company propose a power line route to come right down through the center of town with 160-foot high voltage power lines.
A resident of our community reached out to Celeste and just asked for a statement, and she did much better than that. She actually came down to our very small town and met with us.
And we really appreciate Celeste and everything that she did for the town of Leamington.
Celeste showed up for me.
She'll show up for you.
And she shows up for Utah.
Paid for by Celeste for Congress.
Transform your old, outdated kitchen with Half Price Granite. For a limited time, Half Price Granite is offering special pricing starting at $25 per square foot installed. That's lower than most big box stores. These prices are some of the lowest around. Granite, quartz, marble, and quartzite, all starting at $25 per square foot installed. Call 801-486-1700 or visit halfpricegranite.com. Half Price Granite, affordable luxury.
This week's movie show brought to you by My Hearing Center. Schedule a hearing evaluation and be entered to win a set of premium hearing aids by tuning in Friday from 10 to 1.
Still emergency traffic and weather together here at 8:29. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy?
And Tim, the delays continue over Point of the Mountain to Draper. Some additional stop and go in Midvale. Over on the west side, the I-80-215 interchange. If you're coming from the airport towards downtown or you're going to go to the West Belt, you can only go southbound right now because of the rollover crash that's blocking the ramp to North 215. And then the ramp from South 215 to West 80 has been blocked all morning long. Len?
We're looking at Davis and Weber County. We have a KSL traffic trooper letting us know that it is really crawling from Farmington all the way to Farmington, from Farmington to Kaysville, but actually it looks like Kaysville's all cleared up, so pretty much Farmington into Centerville, and then you're going to be slow all the way Woods Crossing, the downtown area, and the north end of the I-215 where you take it and swing over there toward the airport. Those closures, those ramp closures are causing slow traffic on I-215 there as well. Legacy Parkway is also slow, as well as the West Davis corridor. Eric?
Eastbound I-80 into Parley's Canyon looks good for a while until you get to the East Canyon exit. Then it's going to slow down a lot. You got precipitation on the road, and we had snow falling in Parley's Summit for a long time and still got snow out there on the road, so be careful going out to the Kimball Junction exit. Slow both directions. I-15 Utah County, biggest slow spot now northbound from 800 north and Orem up to the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. Box Elder County has gone to the birds. Spring migration is here at Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. See what visitors are chirping about with Box Elder County. For info, activities, and more, visit boxeldercounty.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We've got rain right now and 41 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
We have gotten a lot of rain and snow with this storm, and those impressive totals are expected to rise even more today.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
Several areas of our mountains have already logged a foot or more of snow. Alta has clocked over 2 feet and counting. Here in the valleys, KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says most areas got anywhere from an inch to over 2 inches of water. We still have more coming today. Matt says in the valleys, we could see another.
Generally speaking, about a tenth to a quarter of an inch of water from about Salt Lake City south into Utah Valley. Mountaintops could pick up maybe another 5 to 10 inches of snow.
While we could see some pop-up storms later on today, we are going to start to see this storm break up. By this weekend, we could finally be back in the 70s. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
UDOT has plans to start clearing Guardsman Pass this morning, and Mother Nature definitely adding to the snow totals there. UDOT says it takes 200 workers to clear all that deep, dense snow from the pass. At this point, they say it's too early to set an opening date, however, for the road.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox has signed a letter along with other governors around the country speaking out against a Pentagon proposal to take members of the National Guard and add them to the Space Force.
Governor Spencer Cox says this Pentagon proposal would undermine a century of U.S. governors' authority as commanders-in-chief. Right now, governors have the final say about what happens with their state's Guard forces. On the other hand, Air Force General Secretary Frank Kendall says the effect on states would be negligible. There are actually no Utah-based space units of the National Guard, but some National Guard units are lining up with Governor Cox. One Colorado Brigadier General tells Defense One News that this is an existential threat to the Guard, and other leaders say they're not looking forward to dealing with a completely unfamiliar branch of the military. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Now KSL's top national stories this hour. More universities are either canceling or adjusting graduation plans because of war protests on their campuses. Details now from ABC's M. Wynn.
Students at the Rhode Island School of Design took over an administrative building last night, barricading entrances with tables and chairs as crowds gathered outside the building. At MIT, pro-Palestinian protesters broke through the barricades to retake an encampment.
Columbia University has now canceled their main commencement ceremony, but will still hold smaller-scale celebrations.
An American soldier is being detained in Russia.
U.S. officials say they're still trying to get to the bottom of why exactly Staff Sergeant Black would go to Russia in the first place. ABC reached Black's mother at her home, and she said that he had met a Russian woman named Sasha who was working as a bartender near his base. Now, according to Black's mother, they were dating. They had a very volatile relationship. She says that Sasha, the woman, the girlfriend, was deported to Russia a few months ago, and that her son, Gordon Black, wanted to use his leave to visit her.
ABC's Ann Flaherty says Russian officials say they detained the soldier on charges of stealing.
Senator Bernie Sanders is already 82 years old, but he says he isn't done serving in Washington, D.C. Sanders has announced he's running for another 6-year term.
Young voters in Utah did not turn out in large numbers in the 2022 election. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson reports.
While more than a quarter of Utah's voting age population is 18 to 29 years old, this age group only represented about 12% of Utah's votes in the 2022 midterm election. U.S. Census Bureau data released in April shows that's significantly less than somewhere like the District of Columbia, which has the same percentage of young voters but had a way higher turnout.
Professors at the Hinckley Institute of Politics say one reason for our lower numbers could be the number of people ages 18 to 21 serving religious missions.
Andy's here again with your first look traffic.
So many issues. So still have that West Davis corridor crash near 950 North in Kaysville, west side of Farmington. You've got delays on both I-15 and Legacy coming from Farmington into Centerville. I'm seeing slowing on I-15 and 215, North Salt Lake down to I-80, and then northbound slowdown, some in Pleasant Grove, some in Lehigh, some in Draper. Oh, yeah, and it started snowing again in Parley's Canyon in case we forgot about that. I'm Andy Farnsworth. It is. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hang in there, Andy. Well, people around the country today are being asked to learn more about the dangers of fentanyl.
Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. According to the CDC, fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that is 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. Emergency room physician Dr. Jennifer Plum is the co-founder of Utah Naloxone. She says because of how prevalent synthetic opioids are, everyone should have access to naloxone.
In almost 10 years, we've had 10,646 times that people have reported to us that they used naloxone to save a life around them. That's just in our, one organization.
Utah Naloxone offers free training and free naloxone kits through their website. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Later today, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall and the City Council expected to go over next year's recommended budget. They'll be looking at improvements around the city and some upcoming construction projects.
A family in Elk Ridge in Utah County is mourning after their 19-year-old son died from a bull riding accident. Megan Anderson tells KSL TV her son Tate loved bull riding from an early age.
He lived, breathed, loved. That was his language, was bull riding.
She says her son had a contagious enthusiasm. There was a GoFundMe set up to help the family with expenses on the KSL TV website.
And animal shelters around Utah are trying to meet the goal of turning Utah into a no-kill shelter state.
The Uinta County Animal Shelter was challenged by Best Friends Animal Sanctuary to increase their adoption rate. The challenge ended this weekend, but it was so successful that it has been extended for at least another week. The shelter's Riley Olson says Best Friends is a great partner.
They are covering the whole adoption fee, so technically the animals are free.
Olson says there are many dogs available, especially puppies, which is odd because they usually have adult dogs. 23 animals found new homes in April, which was a much higher number of adoptions than usual. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
There's just trouble getting into downtown Salt Lake County if you're in Davis County. We'll check that and the rest of your commute just ahead.
Reliability, steadiness, trusted voices.
I'll listen to KSL in the morning. I use it to find my weather, to find my traffic. When you ask me what news is, I think of KSL first.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
That's right, it's me again, and I'm at J&J Garden Center in Layton, the best place to shop for Mother's Day, where they have something special for every mom, and of course at a special price. Right now, all hanging baskets are 20% off, all flats of flowering bedding plants are just $22.98, and all 4.5-inch geraniums are 20% off too. That's incredible. J&J Garden Center definitely has the best products at the best price, so give Mom something special this Mother's Day with a special purchase from J&J Garden Center in Layton. Take the Layton Parkway exit, Main Street to Gentile, then west 2 miles. You've got to see it to believe it. You really do.
Country grown to your home, J&J Garden Center.
The best kept secret is this is the pass. It's a pass for fun for everyone. Save $20 off every annual pass level. 362 days of fun. Visit thisisthepass.com.
You know, Deb, you and I have had this conversation so many times. We think, oh, I wish I had a little more light here or maybe a ceiling fan there.
That's why we love Master Electrical. So anytime we have an electrical problem, we know we can call them and they will give us their upfront pricing guarantee.
Because we're not going to do it yourself. We're going to leave it to the professionals. And this upfront pricing guarantee is fantastic. I'm sure you've been bitten by bids in the past where they say, oh, that's going to take half a day. And then 2 weeks later, the bid and the invoice have nothing to do with each other.
Not only will you get their upfront pricing guarantee, but you will never see an upcharge. Their pricing system simply won't allow it.
Master Electrical proudly serves from Logan to Santaquin.
They do everything that has to do with electrical, and they're always open, including for emergency services. The phone number to call is 801-543-2222.
801-543-2222, or check them out online at masterelectrical.com.
We have emergency traffic brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, west side of the valley, 215 to I-80. That interchange has been a big nightmare this morning. Eastbound to northbound, eastbound 80 to north 215, the ramp still closed. They have uprighted the truck that rolled, and they're trying to tow it back up to the ramp right now, but eastbounders coming from the airport, you either got to exit at Redwood Road or continue on to South 215 instead of the northbound side, unfortunately. And that's why you're seeing delays switching to southbound 215, because everyone's getting pushed over there anyway. North 15 in Draper, you still got that slowing point of the mountain to Bangor. That's an extra 2 or 3 minutes. And then just minor slowdowns the rest of the way to downtown. Len?
Well, we're looking at a fresh crash. Finding this in the cameras. It is a northbound I-15 at 700 north on the right shoulder, so that's going to slow you down coming out of the city a little bit. Trying to find that one. I found the slowdowns. Not seeing the crash just yet. But otherwise, you still have the swampy drive up in Davis County as you make your way from Burton Lane through Farmington on down to Centerville, and then picking up slowing again as you make your way from North Salt Lake southbound into the city, and coming off Legacy Parkway is slow. We also have a crash out there on the West Davis corridor just south of 950 west, and that is having traffic crawl along there. Eric?
Got some wet roads in Utah County too, slowing on I-15 northbound going into the S-curves heading out of Provo, and from 800 north in Orem up through Linden up to the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit, and still getting over to the freeway. Still, that's the slowest part of the Utah County Drive. Pioneer Crossing out of Saratoga Springs, and if you're on Redwood Road heading over to eastbound on 2100 north from Lehigh over to the freeway, that's also just your ordinary slowdowns. Despite whatever the weather conditions are, you can count on that. Spring has sprung, so it's time to shop IFA's Spring Flower Sale. Now through May 19th, visit your local IFA or shop IFACountryStores.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A morning cold front with steady light rain will give way to rain-snow showers this afternoon, high of 50 and a little breezy out of the northwest. 35 overnight, cloudy skies and a chance for a shower in the Salt Lake Valley. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Just cloudy downtown right now, 43 degrees.
So how many kids do you think are going to learn how to play hockey because of this new facility going in at Southtown?
I would hope a lot.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
We're going to learn more about it with Jay Stevens in a moment here on KSL.
Stay with us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
I never thought about being a donor, but when my daughter Susie was born with enlarged kidneys, it was an immediate concern. Lots of doctor appointments and getting educated on what we'd be facing for years to come. 14 years later, the day came when we were told that Susie would need a kidney transplant to save her life. She is here today because of a beautiful family that gave life.
Go to donorconnect.life and read about what it takes to become a donor. Did you know many people think that they're too old and not in good enough health to be a donor? This is far from the truth. If you were told that you could save a life for someone close to you, would you do it? What if it was just to save a life? Finding out more on why you should become a donor is pretty easy. DonorConnect.life can walk you through the process and what it takes to simply sign up. Check yes to become a donor when you renew your driver's license. Give hope, heal life. DonorConnect.life.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help. I'm Jason Erskine with American Home Loans, and we have created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The Bridge Loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlement, or just simply improve your property. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. During COVID, one of our clients had over $85,000 on credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. We were able to save them $2,000 a month, and after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and improved their situation. Look, the consultation is free. Please let us see what we can do for you. Call 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. That's AmericanHomeLoans.com.
NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
KSL News Time, 8:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
we've already gotten an impressive amount of valley rain and mountain snow from this storm, and those totals are expected to grow even more today. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Governor Spencer Cox is joining other governors around the country speaking against a Pentagon proposal to add National Guard members to the Space Force.
Third, tough sledding out there today, Andy.
It is indeed. I-15's at its worst, Farmington to Centerville, and then from Woods Cross into downtown. We've got the ramp still closed from East 80 to North 215 by the airport from a semi that rolled, and snowy, slushy conditions, drivers for I-80 in Parley's Canyon. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
50s with showers today, then we're warming and drying. I'm Matt Johnson.
43 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Stormy Daniels has now taken the witness stand in the Trump trial, so let's get the latest from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The adult actress who claims to have had an affair with former President Trump that he's long denied will testify today in his criminal hush money trial. ABC's Eric Katursky says the payments made to Stormy Daniels are the business records that Trump is charged with falsifying.
Expect the defense to try and hammer away at Stormy Daniels and her credibility. Remember, she denied having a sexual encounter with Donald Trump before she said she did. And so the defense, I would expect, is going to tell the jury, you can't believe anything.
And Daniels has just been called to the stand. President Biden will speak today at the Holocaust Museum. Slim hopes for a ceasefire in the Middle East, still alive, but Israel's moved military forces into the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Cleanup continues in northwest Oklahoma. One person was killed by severe weather. 16 tornadoes were reported across 6 states. This is ABC News.
Well, the state's new NHL team will be spending a lot of time at the shops at Southtown after a new hockey training facility is built.
KSL Sports Hockey Insider Jay Stevens joins us live. Tell us about this new facility and what will happen there, Jay.
Well, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have 2 sheets of ice, NHL regulation. Everything's going to be state-of-the-art. Smith Entertainment Group has said they're going to go and they're going to look at what happened in Vegas, and they're going to look at the rinks that they built in Seattle, and they're going to take the best practices from those facilities and bring them to our new facility. So the team will skate there every morning, and they'll have their rehab and all their workout facilities, and there's going to be a master kitchen there, and they're going to have all that there. But then it becomes like a community asset, and guys like me can go and play men's league at 1 in the afternoon, and then it'll just be overran by kids playing hockey all day. It'll be just a cool community area, and then we can go to the shops at Southtown and grab lunch, and it's just going to be awesome. It's a great spot for it.
Yeah, help us understand, Jay. Is this going to take place within the facility as it exists now, or is it a building in the parking lot area?
It's going to be a building in the parking lot area. So I don't know if it's going to be attached or just in the parking lot, but what they told us is that they're not going to tear down any existing structures, and they're just going to try and build up the mall and make it more successful.
Okay, so speaking of tearing down existing structures, what do you know, Jay, about what's going to happen downtown? Are they making decisions about that?
So tonight, they're going to reveal everything. So I know some stuff, but tonight everybody's going to know everything at the city council meeting. Smith Entertainment Group is going to reveal their plans for revitalizing downtown Salt Lake, what the Delta Center is going to look like over the next few years. I know just besides hockey and besides basketball, I know they plan on doing, every time Ryan Smith talks, he talks about bringing more arts, and more music, and more entertainment. So I imagine this is going to be a really exciting press release tonight at the city council meeting.
You sound like a fisherman that doesn't want to give away his favorite fishing hole, is what you sound like.
Well, I'm also a guy that I've seen plans and then they changed immediately. When I first started talking to these guys, it was a 2-year plan, and now it's a 4-month plan to bring the team in and get them playing. So I don't want to say anything that's already changed. That's how it is being a reporter. You only know so much for so long.
Right. Well, when we all find out, we'll have to get your 2 cents on it again, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you.
KSL Sports Hockey Insider Jay Stevens. Definitely exciting times, whether you're in South Salt Lake or downtown Salt Lake City. Maybe tomorrow we'll have some more details to pass along. Right now, let's see what the roads look like. It's emergency traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy, tough morning.
Yeah, and we still have issues right now, including the ramp from East 80 to South 215 is backed up because they're not letting anybody go north from the airport on 215 towards Davis County because a semi rolled on that ramp. Hoping that'll get reopened here fairly soon. In fact, it might even be close to being done so now. We'll see. But we also have North 15 slowdowns that continue to be an issue, an extra 4 or 5 minutes from Point of the Mountain up to about 106 South in Sandy that you'll have to deal with. Len?
Well, looking at this drive, it's been a slow boat ride from Kaysville to Farmington this morning, but now the slow drive is southbound Legacy Parkway, where it parallels I-15 from the I-15 split to Centerville, also on I-15 through the same area from Farmington to Centerville. It is still the West Davis corridor, still slow with a crash out there just south of 950 West. And then as you make your way into the city, you're going to be slowing down from Woods Cross on down through the North Interchange and into the downtown area. Eric?
We got a crash now reported eastbound I-80 in the mountains, about a mile past the east, past Lambs Canyon, going up to the top of Parley Summit. This is over on the right shoulder, but you do have slowdowns there anyway because of the wet road conditions heading into Jeremy Ranch. Down in Utah County, biggest trouble spots are getting over to the freeway on Pioneer Crossing and 2100 northeastbound from Redwood Road on I-15 itself. Some slowdowns approaching the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit and from Timpanogos Highway up to Point of the Mountain. Spring has sprung, so it's time to shop. IFA's Spring Flower Sale, now through May 19th. Visit your local IFA or shop IFACountryStores.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with cold and wet conditions. We'll go scattered rain, snow showers this afternoon and breezy out of the northwest, high of only 50. We bump it to 51 tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Then we're partly cloudy, dry, 77, mostly sunny skies. We're flirting with 80 by Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, cloudy and 43 degrees. And the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Here's an easy tip from Jordan Valley Water to know when it's time to water your lawn. If you step on your grass and it pops right back up again, you don't need to water yet. For more tips, visit waittowater.com.
This is Lisa Nichols from Intermountain Health with Your Life, Your Health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's important to know that there are resources available to anyone needing help. Intermountain Health has continued to build on the local hotline resource in response to growing behavioral health needs throughout the state. This includes Intermountain's Connect Care Behavioral Health Hotline, which is the telehealth option for anyone in the state to use. The Intermountain Behavioral Health Navigation Line gives Utahns a free resource to talk to someone about anything from low-risk stressors to more complex issues, such as crisis and serious mental health needs. Behavioral health counselors who answer the line can refer people to a variety of resources if there are needs for long-term help. Anyone can call 833-442-2211 to access this service. People should know that there is help if they or a loved one is struggling. If you are in crisis, contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988, available 24/7, 365 days a year. Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital also has a great resource for tweens and how to handle emotions by visiting talktotweens.org. Teenagers can also use the Safe UT app for resources, chat with someone, or as a crisis line by downloading it on their smartphones. Additionally, the free Intermountain Behavioral Health Navigation Line is available 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm Lisa Nichols with Intermountain Health on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Do you remember the $80 billion that Congress set aside for the IRS to hire more folks to conduct audits? Yeah, that's kicking in. Now, they've pinky promised that that's not going to affect the normal people like us, only the super rich. I'll tell you the story of how they tried that once before, and it completely failed. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans expected to send $33.5 billion on Mother's Day, or spend it on Mother's Day this year. The National Retail Federation says it's the second highest amount in history. The most popular gift, of course, is flowers.
Your money at this moment, the Dow's up 109. That's 0.3%. We're at 38,961. The S&P's up 14. The Nasdaq up 21.
Give us a minute. We'll try and put a big finish on this morning drive for you. That's coming up next.
My name is Case Lawrence, and I'm running for Congress. The chaos at our southern border